All right, welcome back to our final run of this HD remaster of the original CGDQ. I am joined by Pitch Zero Run here to run SMRPG 80%. We're going to get going here pretty quickly, so if one of y'all can give me a countdown.
Okay, so Pidge, if you're ready, in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
9,
go for it.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
In case
Smurf.
anyone in chat is confused right now, that fake start where there was just because we do timing from power on in this game. And typically we also do go into the end of the credits, but we are all tired tonight, so that's not going to be the case for today. We're going to go to Smithy Kill. So, hi everyone, I'm Pidge. I'm running any percent today for you, and today I'm joined by three wonderful commentators. I am joined not only by Romscout, the original runner of this game back at CGDQ in 2010, but also by Justin-credible, who's the most recent GDQ runner of this game in AGDQ 2019, and also my good friend Void, who also ran DKC1 earlier today. If you didn't watch that, go back and watch it if you can.
Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to see Pidge go for the Terrapin Manip here in Bowser's Keep. What she's going to be trying to do is, in the mandatory fight, she's going to try to time her attacks on specific frames so that the Terrapins do not retaliate when their turns come. So with any luck, she'll be able to destroy all the Terrapins without any of them getting an attack. And the RNG actually is kind of manipulatable since we're starting from a fresh file here.
Yeah, as long as your movement through the castle is consistent, you won't have any problems getting the same pattern from the Terrapins every time.
Dude, I was like one frame too late there.
Alright, so she kind of missed out on the 0. I think she tried to back up, but didn't work out. But I think 2 punches is not really that bad compared to
2 punches still fine.
So you notice that she used all of her jump power or all of her jump specials there. That's actually important for the early game of the run. Every time you use jump, it's going to get stronger. Every 2 uses, the base power will go up by 1. And actually, when you finish that Terrapin fight, you actually get a fresh HP, FP restore. So she'll be able to use jump on the King Click here in the Bowser fight to further power up her jump. That would be important up until we get past King Calamari.
Yeah, your jump power is going to be required to have a certain power to get the quick kill strat on King Calamari. But yeah, another thing important to mention about refills after fights is that this game is pretty forgiving in the sense that after every boss fight, you get an automatic HP and FP refill. So a lot of the fights are routed in consequence.
So here for like the first 5 minutes or so, it's basically going to be going through the storyline where Mario saves the princess, then Smithy comes and shatters the Star Road and sends Mario, Peach, and Bowser in different directions. And then Mario ends up at Mario's pad, where then he has to talk to Toad. You have to go back to Bowser's Keep. The typical story of the Mario and Peach relationship.
Yeah, pretty much nothing has changed in the last 13 years, I want to say. This game was, 1996? I should know this. I should know this fact. What game did the year come out?
It is
96.
1996, yep.
Score.
Yeah, it's definitely only been 13 years since 1996.
Oh,
No
I was
math.
thinking like 1983 to
No
1996. Wow, that's like cosmic brain.
Remember, Mario's of legal age now. So we should probably talk about some of the basic mechanics of the game before we get into like the heart of the run. this is mostly a game of timing where you have to time attacks to deal maximum damage. And also, the enemies themselves can attack you, and sometimes you can block those to minimize damage. So in a typical RPG, you're mostly underleveled, so being able to block attacks is going to be very critical to not game over.
Yeah, and the upcoming fight on the Ember Bros, actually, if Pidge gets the worst pattern, it's going to be pretty important for her to block some of the attacks, even perfectly. So, yeah, you'll see that in action pretty soon. But first off, we need to advance the plot, so we're going to revisit Bowser's Castle, and this big mean sword guy is going to tell us that, well, we're going to have to go around the world to enter Bowser's Castle again.
Yo, I just want to give a shout out to Scout for being here, because Scout is at Zeldathon right now and is still joining us for this SMRPG speedrun at like 12:30 a.m. Eastern time. So everyone give him a round of applause from your computer chairs.
I can definitely hear them right now, but thank you.
So, since I mentioned about underleveling and the chances of dying are pretty serious, I'm sure we will see some safety saves for the first parts of the game. Because there are a couple of fights where you could probably die and it's not under your control.
I'm turning off turbo to do these cutscene skips.
Oh yeah, that's an also important
Turbo,
thing.
whoa!
Turbo, whoa! Prepare your flame wars in the chat.
So yeah, Turbo has been legalized for this game, I want to say like last year?
It's actually been a couple years. I think it was 2017 at least.
It's been less time.
That might be correct actually, yeah.
It's been less time since my last PB in this category, I know that much.
and as someone who last ran this game long before that was allowed, does that actually like help you with the super jumps at all, or no?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, 'cause you can't do like an early input, right?
Nope.
Yeah, the way the timing system works is that during the frame window that you're allowed to block, the game only accepts one input. So if you like had turbo on, it would not register at all. Because I think there's even a further window that accepts timings, but it doesn't even it's like a miss the perfect timing. So if you had turbo on the whole time, you would just miss out on all the frames altogether, and you would take full damage. So right here, the hammer time is the attack that Void was talking about. Now see, she took half damage from that one, getting another hammer time.
Yeah. But this one she took no damage from, meaning that she perfect blocked it.
Yeah, and that is their most threatening attack, so as long as you can half block those, then you should be good for the battle.
So yeah, she didn't immediately defeat the first one. She did another jump attack on the second one, and that's because once one Hammer Brother dies, the other one will automatically cast Valor up. But that's not quite enough to protect him because it's like 5 HP from death, and that jump attack is still good enough. Even untimed will kill it.
Yeah, back when we first were doing this run for the original GDQ, we knew about a lot of the stuff like powering up jumps, but I don't think it was like routed in as efficiently as it is now for the early game. Definitely did not know any of the glitchy stuff that you'll be doing later though.
So Pidge here is selling all of her items, including the flower jar she just got from Hammer Brothers, so she can actually purchase some equipment and some items she will be needing for the first half of the game. She purchased, I think, 5 honey syrups, which will be used in Croco 1, Balloon 1, and the Bowyer fight to restore her flower point reserves. So she could continue to do Mario's jump attack. She also purchased some pick-me-ups and able juices to restore her party members should they get knocked out or be affected with some nasty status effects later in the game. And then she also purchased a shirt and jump shoes for Mario. And then she went ahead and equipped everything right there during the shop menu, so that during this cutscene here with the Chancellor, she can skip the equip tutorial. And then
I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten to do equipping in that menu and just like had to do the tutorial here.
And then also as a byproduct of going to the shop before getting Mallow, she doesn't have to sit through an additional cutscene if you visit the item shop with Mallow in your party, because then you have another cutscene that you'd have to go through, which is unnecessary. So it's kind of like...
wouldn't you just watch this cutscene later on? Since you need the cricket pie?
No, because at that point, the cutscene at the item shop is only there until you get the rare frog coin from Croco.
Oh,
and then,
okay. I see.
And then that cutscene that, Mallow complains about his coin being stolen, gone.
Gotcha.
I could just give her the one that I got from the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't know why we got it.
I know, yeah. Why couldn't we do that? We just skip the Croco fight altogether. I mean, it just costs us 10 seconds to get another one.
I wish we could skip the Croco fight altogether.
Same. I love getting 6 bombs, don't you?
Bombs away.
Well, that attack we don't see in this category. Learning how to perfect block bombs away in the Jinx fight? Never want to learn that again. But we're not going to be seeing that today.
Yeah, if you want to see Jinx, I would invite you guys to watch Pidge's most of the stuff run that she did for Limit Break earlier this year.
Of which Void was also on couch?
Hey! It's almost like it's a redo that we're doing tonight.
It's almost like Void has a better PB. Than
I hate to chime in here, but here comes the best line of the game coming up. Right here.
Can't believe you could just forget your bazooka at home.
Man,
How can you forget your bazooka?
What kind of gamer forgets a bazooka?
did you see the size of that bazooka? It was bigger than him.
That's actually my Discord avatar is Toad holding a bazooka. Which Sinus made for me.
Alright, so Bandit's Way is kind of like the first miniature reset point in a actual attempt here. You're gonna see Pidge go into the second screen with, the moving platforms. And yeah, okay, she's taking a safety save for good reason, because Croco can give you a bad pattern if he wants.
I was about to say I'm not entirely sure why I'm saving there, but you just gave me a very good reason.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, something worth mentioning about the Croco fight, actually. We mentioned earlier about blocking attacks perfectly and half blocking them. Some attacks are not blockable, though, and Croco's highest damaging attack, I guess,
yeah,
is not blockable. So if she gets
there's
too
barely
many
a
bombs,
chance that the run could end on this battle if he just gave you the worst block possible. So it is wise to save still.
I got the worst luck in Voidathon earlier. I got bombed every turn.
You getting bad luck? Unreal.
Oh, she didn't get the flower jump or the dog jump, which is unfortunate. So she's gonna have a slightly trickier Croco fight to deal with. If she would have gotten that flower, that would have possibly made for a more optimal Croco fight, and plus it would have saved her time later in the Kuro sewers, because she wouldn't have to go after a flower there.
Luckily, because this is any percent and not most of the stuff, that's like a 5-second time loss and not like a 40-second time loss.
Yeah, true. But yeah, you do need a certain number of flowers before the Gyaradovic fight later in the run. So getting that one is, like we said, a nice time save. It is not entirely necessary because there are a lot of other backup flowers, but it's very nice to get still.
So the Croco fight is very straightforward. Mario's going to be jumping every turn, and then Mallow's going to be defending unless he has to use a honey syrup. And right there we get a bad luck. Mario at full HP can survive a bomb and still live. But it's very crucial that Pidge can block physicals just like that.
Yeah. And
So
the physicals, like, the timing to block them perfectly is pretty unintuitive when you're starting out running this game. Yeah, so someone's dead here. Mallow can only tank a bomb if he's defending.
Right. So, yeah. She has to take a timeout here to revive Mallow. Oh, she got a freebie. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But for right now, she's going to continue jumping with Mario. As long as both players are alive, she's fine because Croco does not have an attack against everyone. Attack. Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. He's getting some of my luck here. So
It's about time, and all my practice runs are like the most unlucky things I've ever seen.
So once Croco gets under 100 HP remaining, he's gonna automatically use the weird mushroom there. And then he skips his next turn, so Pidge has 2 free attacks here. And this should be over right about here. Okay, she's good.
Yeah, nothing more frustrating than getting a bomb on Mario on this turn and have him die, and then you have to waste 2 turns reviving him.
Yeah. So earlier in the area, she picked up a Kirikiri Cola from a hidden chest. There's quite a few of those in the early part of the run, but she's not going to be utilizing those in battles. They're just solely to be sold for cash later when we get to Seaside Town. So in addition to getting the rare frog coin back, she also gets this wallet, which also sells for 123 coins. So she will be holding on to that as well. The only reward you get for returning it to its owner is a flower tab, which only sells for 100.
So yeah, Pidge saves here once again because she's going to be attempting a pretty major skip, max skip. As far as I'm aware, this is the oldest trick in this run. It's been around when I picked the game up. It's been around back when I watched my first SMRPG run, which was from Cypher. And yeah, she's going to be using... yeah, she's going to be using the Shyster's collision detection.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Whoops.
I don't know what just happened there. All right, we'll try it again.
Yeah, so that can happen. You can like hit an invisible wall for some reason if your positioning on the Shyster's head is not entirely accurate, but that's exactly why we saved. So
I think what happened there was just like an accidental directional input on my D-pad because it's not very often that I miss max skips. So that was like kind of weird.
I think she broke the streak. I think every SMRPG run that it's ever been done, max skip was done first try, and I think she broke the streak.
I think I missed it in like a marathon that I did like 3 years ago or something like that.
Oh, really? But for all the GDQ marathons, I think all of them been hit first try.
Well, I can tell you, it was barely known about before CGDQ, and we didn't really have a true setup, and so... yeah, I missed it during that marathon.
Oh, really? Okay. But there was no streak then.
But it was known about, that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, it was known about even back then. It was just like primarily a task trick. There's, I guess the task community back then, the like RTA community was barely starting to converge a little more. Like back when it was just YouTube and SDA is the primary source for runs, like it was very split. But yeah, I think the next year after that is really when you started seeing like task strats becoming more RTA viable because there's just a better understanding of how tricks worked in a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
I was like ready to officially announce my retirement if I miss max skip twice in a row there.
Okay, so now that we got past the max skip, we automatically have access to the Kira sewers. So I believe we're doing the new route, which means that we're skipping the Pandorite option fight. So
that's correct.
That in turn has quite a few twists that are thrown into the run. She misses out on some jump power because you normally jump on Pandorite. With Mario, and in addition, when you finish that fight, you get a flower jar plus a true form pin, afterwards. So there is 342 coin. Oh wait, let me rephrase. 321 that she misses out on since you sell that truth. So we have to make up for that loss of coins later in the run.
Yeah, Pennerite used to be like a not necessarily a mandatory fight. Well, mandatory in the sense that yeah, because you're missing out on so many coins, you don't really want to skip it. But yeah, now the most recent route opts out of that fight, which is pretty cool because there's a lot of RNG involved into that fight.
Yeah, and she also misses out on some early experience, which she has to make up for later in the Mobile Mines. And she also got that flower from that one screen where she didn't get the dog jump.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have 12 flowers for the balloon fight. So the only time Mallow really attacks until he gets powered up in Mobile is just to cast Thunderbolt.
Mm-hmm. So the first hit on Bloom is scripted. He's always gonna physical attack on Mallow. On turn 2, he can do a variety of things. You don't want him to use Sleep Sauce.
Oh, nice. And a miss.
Yeah, and a miss, too. So physical on turn 2 is pretty much ideal. Then this turn, he's gonna... Oh, he's swallowing? I expected him to Scarecrow. I guess I was messing it up.
Yeah, Scarecrow is comes after he takes a certain amount of damage, so usually that's on this turn unless Mario was put to sleep.
Gotcha.
Whereas swallowing Mallow is like every third turn, unless Mallow is incapacitated, I think.
So yeah, when you're a Scarecrow, you cannot attack physically and you cannot use items, but you can still jump with Mario. And you are also immune to Sleep Sauce from below, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise to be turned into a Scarecrow during this fight.
Yeah, and she also got hit with Scarecrow again, which resets the 3-turn duration, so actually that protects Mario for the rest of the fight. Oh, but this might be a problem now that Mallow's a Scarecrow, but I think she's already used Honey Syrup twice, I believe.
Yeah, I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that won't be a problem. Because there is a thing in this fight called the Sleep Sauce If, which luckily we won't see, but it is a real thing.
Yeah, it happens to everyone running this game at least once.
That was a pretty good balloon fight. I wish he used more physicals, but...
Yeah, also another small little detail here to note that Mallow attacked Balloon for that 4 little damage, and that actually did matter because Balloon died with, I think, exactly 501 damage dealt.
I'm gonna hold Turbo B during Midas River just to show you how funny it looks like when Mario tries to clap Waterfall with Turbo B. That's adds absolutely nothing to the run, but I think it looks funny, so I'm doing it.
So, one more small detail here. When Mallow leveled up, I think it was on the Croco fight, we actually give him physical attack as a level up bonus. That is actually new to this route. Since Mario has less jump power, he deals less damage on the Croco 2 fight. So to counteract that, we actually give Mallow extra attack, and that actually, with the HP bonus that he gets from the Bowyer fight later, he's going to be able to survive a bomb on Croco 2 and deal the same amount of damage that Mario would, provided we get good randomness on the attack later. And then for the Midas River section that Pidge is doing now, she wants to collect 60 coins, at least, between these 2 sections, so that when she gets to the bottom, she can exchange those for a frog coin.
Yeah, if you get exactly 60 coins, you can skip a text box, which saves about, like, a second and a half.
Yeah, like, forget getting max skip first try. That's like baby stuff. That's like small potatoes. I care about that half-second text box.
Dude. That's what separates the boys from the men in this game. Says the guy who never really went for 60 coins exactly because he was too afraid to end up with 59, you know?
Yeah, and you can't keep these coins if you get any. The guy at the bottom of the waterfall just holds any extra coins you have. So there's no point in getting any extra. And the frog coins are actually a second currency that'll be used to purchase special items, which we will get to see here very shortly in Tadpole Pond. Right now, Pidge has, I believe, 6 frog coins.
I think you're right.
Yeah, she has 1 from Mushroom Kingdom, 4 from the river, and then 1 for the... So we're here in Tadpole Pond, which we get more plot and just more text. So basically what's going to happen is after all the text, she's going to go to the Frog Coin Emporium, and she's going to spend some of her frog coins on some items. She's going to pick up an Energizer, which, until we get Geno Boost for Geno, it's basically the only item that we have to boost attack with. And she's also going to pick up a Sleepy Bomb for the Gunyulk fight at the very end of the game.
I want to give a shout out to Mozzie in chat, who successfully pulled off a pyramid of the Void Hungry emote, which is a picture of Balloon with hard eyes. Doing that in a channel of 7,500 viewers, that's impressive, and I like that it was topical.
10 out of 10. Also, speaking of being topical, well, this is a cutscene, but we mentioned Pidge using Turbo earlier. And Turbo in this run is pretty much only used for cutscenes and advancing text, but it saves a pretty significant amount of time throughout the run. I think around 75 seconds, I want to say.
I would argue
maybe you know more than me, Justin, but I've heard like between a minute and a minute and a half.
Yeah, I would argue probably a little bit more, closer to 90 seconds at least, since there's so much of it. But yeah, Turbo does really nothing in regards to game mechanic, so that's why it's been legalized.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that uses it shamelessly. Like, I don't just use it for text, I use it for, like, spamming defend in a lot of early game battles, but that's just because if I was just using Turbo for text, you know, that's cool, but I'd like to try and... I find it actually kind of interesting to figure out, like, when the best points are to turn it on and off. I think that's, like, controversial opinion. I think that's like a skill in itself, is like knowing when to... It's a different input on your controller. It's knowing like when to do it properly, because you don't actually have that many windows to do it.
Yeah, it actually adds some difficulty to the run, because if you just forget about it and you leave it on at like during a battle and you end up doing a wrong attack or something, it gets pretty bad.
And like one of the worst places to leave it on is in menus, especially shot menus.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah.
I had one time in most of the stuff I sold all my rock candies
That's
with Turbo on.
That's kind of like the #1 rule of Turbo: turn it off before you get to menuing.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, like I haven't run with Turbo yet, so I don't really know how it is.
Oh, it's great.
My PV is not Turbo, but I ran most of the stuff with Turbo, like, ever since I came back to that category. Oh no, I missed the coin. Oh well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that coin is pretty unintuitive to get.
So another important thing about this new route is also the coin route is really, really tight. That 10 coin that she missed is kind of important, but there is some backup coins here in the next.
Yeah, she's just gonna have to like hit a bunch of chests on the screen. That's not really a big deal.
Ooh.
Oh.
This could be bad.
Oh, okay. Hopefully she can get through this.
Thankfully, I'm most of the stuff runner, so I know how to block that attack.
At least you do get a free, like, in-visit during the next cutscene sequence, right? So.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, everyone's gonna get healed after the next.
Like, you get a free heal before Forest Maze, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, everybody gets healed up, because everybody sleeps during the... after Mario gets knocked out by the kid.
Yeah, because you're skipping Pandaride, like your money route is pretty tight, so missing that coin on Roseway was just a small problem.
So,
Yeah.
fighting the flowers actually used to be required in the quote-unquote 100% category until I found an RTA viable skip that eliminates that fight completely. But back in the day, like, that fight was annoying. So it's like, oh, I vaguely remember how to block this attack.
So here in Rosetown, she's gonna get some more flowers and those there are some hidden frog coins that she's gonna be getting as well. And there she went to the shop to purchase 2 Fearless Pins, and that is for the bunt fight a little bit later. It used to be purchasing wake-up pins, but now that we've got Clown Manipulation at the end of Booster Tower, we've kind of swapped out the wake-up pins in exchange for Fearless Pins.
Yeah, it makes the fight much more consistent, I know.
Yeah, and also makes for the Moleville Mine section much easier, because now Sandstorm won't really do anything to our party.
Yeah. How did we not think of using Fearless Pins earlier?
And plus, the Fearless Pins, although they cost more, which is why the coin route is a little bit tighter, they also provide 2 additional points of defense compared to the wake-up pin. And that's how Mallow is able to survive a bomb Croco 2 once he gets equipped.
To answer a question in chat, there absolutely is an SMRPG randomizer. In fact, I'm one of the developers for it, and so is Pat, who's in the chat. He has done a lot of awesome stuff for that rando too. There's actually like 9 of us who work on that rando. It's pretty fun. You should check it out.
Soon, TM.
So one thing I will probably explain here is what the freebies are. Pidge has already gotten a couple of them already. It seems random if you get them or not, and basically all it does, it just gives you the item that you just use back in inventory to be used at a later time. And there's a couple of items in the game that are very important to get freebied. The Energizer that she just bought, we would love for that to freebie on the Bowyer fight, because then she's able to use that in later fights like Croco 2, or even perhaps Punchinella if she freebies it a second time. And that will make for a faster fight. And the bombs that we get later, the fire and ice bombs, we want those to freebie also. And we'll explain why that is later.
Funny tidbit from back when we used to run this when CGDQ was being done, and again, we didn't really have like tasters to confirm knowledge for us. Like there were rumors that you could actually time the button presses on the items to get a freebie, and it's like there's no confirmation of whether that worked or not. So some people actually believed that, but I think most of the high level runners didn't.
Yeah, thanks to Swinch and his work with the clown manipulation, we can now verify that it's not seemingly random. It's actually based on the global frame counter when you start a file, and actually what RNG seed that you are in a boss fight. We'll try to explain more about that when we get to
Yeah, the latest route that we're running was largely the work of Swinch, Claude, and Albrecht, I believe, were the biggest contributors to the logic of this route. And it came out in 2019, just before Justin, your AGDQ run, I believe. So updating the wiki in time for your run was like we were actually at the event recording videos for the wiki. Which, by the way, if any of you want to learn how to speedrun this game, head on over to smrpgspeedruns.com, because everything I'm doing today is documented in great detail. Great excruciating detail. You too can speedrun this game, even if you don't know how to super jump.
Yeah, also we want to include XHR. I did some little movement optimization as well. So yeah, we've all contributed a little bit to see how the run looks today. So Pidge is actually farming some additional frog coins. This is the most optimal place at this point in the game to get frog coins. So she needs to get 7 additional frog coins. You have to land on the Wiggler 10 times before he re-enters the trunk once he comes out. It's okay if you fall off the Wiggler, and as long as you get back on and jump remainder number of times, you'll get the coin. But you also have to be careful that she doesn't touch the Wiggler in a manner that would trigger an encounter, because the Wiggler actually has a couple hitboxes that if you touch on the sides, it will actually force an encounter. And the Wiggler is actually a very dangerous enemy because he can cast Sandstorm and it can be unblockable and she could potentially die. But I think
Very
she
nice
got
Wigglers.
Thanks.
She got all the Wigglers.
Yeah. Another thing worth pointing out is that the Wigglers, not only they give you frog coins, but they actually give you
Yes.
regular coins. And we
What is
mentioned
happening with
already a
Z?
couple times. Ooh, the
Oh my
Monka
gosh.
SB.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
there you
it's a scary bee.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh,
No
okay.
task Wiggler for me.
I would like to throw a challenge flag on that play.
I can respect you going for it though.
I was actually trying to jump over him, but
So here's
sometimes
another.
it just doesn't work out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
So there was a hidden Kira Cola at the very start of the forest maze, and you just picked up another one. Like I said before, she's not going to be using those. Those are going to be sold for. So yeah, she has to move through the remainder of the area. Coming up on another hidden chest here that contains a red essence. This is a very important item for the button fight later. She is safety saving in case Bowyer decides to give a pattern, which it is possible. It's a low chance, but it can still happen. Okay.
Me?
No, it's me. Alright, how's that? Alright, sorry about that.
So, like we were talking about earlier, crediting people for the run, I didn't actually do anything for the routing of this run, but I did program the damage calculator that was used for a lot of the routing of the battles, so I feel like I contributed something a little bit. But that's about as far as my routing goes in this category.
So one of the... Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
No,
I
go-
wasn't going to say anything important.
Alright, but one of the beauties about having turbo is you can actually take a lot more breaks in this run, as long as it is. So this is a very good break time if you're on an actual run. You get like a whole minute of rest. So the Bowyer fight has changed a little bit. Instead of Mario jumping in conjunction with Geno using his physical, Geno is solely going to be using Geno Beam, and then after he runs out of FP, he's going to be just physical attacking. Mario's jump power is lower than it was in the older route, so he's just better off defending. And that actually helps because the way the Bowyer fight works is that he locks specific buttons depending on what actions you've taken for 2 turns. So if you constantly do regular attack, he will lock A, and that also in turn dictates what attacks he will do. But if you just don't increment his counter high enough, he'll just lock Y or X, and that will allow him to do less threatening attack.
So we normally run this game in Japanese, but for GDQ usually we do it in English, which has some, like, English is about, like, 10 to 12 minutes slower because of the text speed, but it does have some funny dialogue going on in it, which is a plus.
Yeah, they also made Bowyer talk like Yoda for some reason.
So that first Geno Beam will do 60, and now Mallow is going to throw the Energizer on Geno, and we want to see a freebie. No
Dang.
freebie.
I think I've seen
no
one
Justin
Energizer
Credible.
freebie in, like, the last week.
So now Geno is energized. Now he's going to be dealing 90 damage with these other Geno Beams. If Geno is unharmed, we may see her go for what's called the Oyasumi Gamble. Which means Gino is going to be physical attacking on his last turn that he could do a Geno Beam, and then Mario's actually going to do a jump. And that will force the point counter to make him lock Y. And there's a small chance that Bowyer will cast the Sleepy Arrow, and there's a 1 in 3 shot that arrow will hit Gino. And it actually will save a little bit of time if RNG goes in her favor.
I don't know enough about that strat, so I'm actually not going to go for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the first time I hear about it.
I read about it,
with
but
this
I was
new
like, that
Boyer's,
sounds coffee frame.
fight strat, you can use whatever the Sleepy Arrow attack is called.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah, I knew you can use it, but like it's very unlikely still. And it's still worth the time save to do this variation of the fight compared to the older one.
Yeah, the only reason the Oyasumi Gamble is considered, instead of using the Geno Beam, which would take like 8 seconds because of the charging, you just do a physical attack with Geno and then jump with Mario. It's really quick. But this is safe. This is by no means like a bad thing, because Bowyer is notorious for ending good early pace runs.
Yeah, he can be kind of a jerk. So far so good though.
Yeah, that fight was okay.
So here, Mallow's going to take HP. As you see, he gets 6 extra HP points, which is just enough for him to survive a bomb from Croco 2. So now that we got Geno, we're going to get the real reason being behind the star pieces and their role in the game. And Geno actually joins the party at level 6, while Mario and Mallow are like levels 3 and 4 respectively. So coming up in Moleville, she is going to go to the Moleville shop, and I believe she's going to sell her Kira Colas and I think a flower tab. Is that correct, Pidge?
Yep.
Okay, and there's a couple reasons behind that. Number one, she has to buy some work pants and some attack items for our party. And she also has to buy a mid-mushroom that's going to be saved for the Yuridovic fight about halfway through the run. And that's going to be important to heal Geno after a specific attack. And not only that, it also gets the Kira Colas out of her item inventory, so that if she has to look for items at all, it'll be a lot easier to look for stuff, because she doesn't have to deal with all those Kiros that are in the way.
Yeah, the other thing about that is we used to not sell any of that stuff there. We sell it later in Seaside Town, but we sell it now because we don't have enough coins to buy all that stuff anymore, because we bought Fearless pins, which are a lot more expensive than the Wake Up pins that we used to use.
Yeah, if you bought everything that you could without selling, you're just short of buying the mid-mushroom. And we also sell just enough to get the coin count up to a point to where, after we account for the coins that we get in the Moleville Mines and all the other fights that we get money from, our coin count is going to be pretty high when we start buying stuff at Seaside Town. So as you see, Mallow and Geno are both wearing the Fearless pins. And all of them are wearing work pants, which increases their speed and their attack power. So you're going to see the damage that Pidge will be dealing go up quite a bit.
Well, that's an interesting question in chat from Sean Cass. Rumscout, what was the strat that you used for Knife Guy and Great Guy 10 years?
I believe we might have actually powered up the jump more than you currently do in this route, and it was just a ton of jumping, and only on Great Guy's the one that does the specials more, right? Yeah, I think it was entirely on Great Guy first, and then taking out Knife Guy last.
Yeah, that seems logical because Great Guy is actually the real threat in that fight.
Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting how much that fight has changed.
So there's a trampoline that you gotta jump on in the mines. Don't know why they put it there, but as you see, Mario is out unconscious, and Croco just appears out of nowhere and wants to get revenge.
Sorry if my mouse click is distracting. I have to keep going back and forth like between chat because my monitor setup with when I run this game is very spacious.
So you have to chase Croco down, and as soon as the fight begins, you're gonna see her attack with Gino every turn, and then on the very first turn, she's gonna jump with Mario for the first turn, and that's solely to get her jump power increased a little bit in prep for the King Calamari fight. And Mallow is actually going to be physically attacking now. And with some good rolls, we will hopefully see some 40s, which is about the same amount of damage Mario would be dealing if his jump power was up as it was in the old route.
Physical on turn 1 from Croco is really good here, because it ensures that nobody is, well, actually, maybe... Okay.
Yeah.
I guess Mario could have still died, but yeah.
So as you see there, that bomb that Mallow took allowed him to live.
So like before we routed the fearless pins in, both Mario and Mallow could die from one bomb, but now that Mallow can live, can tank one bomb from Croco,
Yeah.
this fight is actually not as bad. This
Yeah.
fight can be a pretty big time sink.
And also, this is one of the first fights where an evasion mechanic is introduced into the battle. There's a 5% chance that you can miss a physical on Croco.
Yeah. Which is actually the main reason why you want to use jump on Mario instead of using physicals.
Yeah.
Using physicals would be slightly faster, but you would risk that 5% chance of missing, whereas a spell, which jump is, cannot miss.
Yeah. So, okay, that's in the fight, and hopefully we get the flower box. Come on.
That was a pretty fast fight.
Yeah. Oh.
No blocks.
Never lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a 25% chance of a flower box drop on this fight, and
Really,
flower
25%
box
chance because ever since I started practicing for this run, I haven't seen it once.
Classic.
Man.
It's a 90% if you're Justin.
Yeah, it's 25%, but it seems to be like 75% if you're me. So
Yeah.
I mean, you always have to like cut it in half for speedrunners in general. Then you have to cut another third on top of that for runs that matter.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So here I'm actually gonna go ahead and just like make a save point because the movement here for the bomb star is actually
Yes.
kind of.
Yeah, this is actually
Yeah.
a very important star to not mess up on. You need to kill non-bombs or non-enemies in general on this star, because the amount of experience you get from enemies during a star increases as you go out through the game, and every enemy that's killed via a star here is 5 experience points. And since she didn't fight Pandarite, she has to make up for that 12 lost experience. So she needs to kill 3 additional enemies here to make up for that.
Believe it or not, it can get 11 in the randomizer pretty consistently, but go figure in the speedrun. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Ooh, like, see, like that right there.
Nice.
Yo, we still did it.
Okay.
Yep, nice.
Yeah, the bombs can can switch their direction right before you touch them, and that can really ruin everything.
Yeah. Isometric movement and hitboxes. Oh, do you skip the coin box entirely?
Oh, you're right, I did.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
She can go back and get it before the minecart. Yeah,
Yeah. You're right. I can't do that.
Yeah, she needs to get that the 150 coin box. That is very important for bombs later.
Yeah, we used to get that before we come into that room, but now since we skip past the box to hit the bombs on the minecart track so that we can get more hits out at the start, it's like it's easy to forget the chest in that room now.
So the Punchinello fight is actually one of the easiest fights in the game. All you do is attack with all the characters. And if we can get some good rolls, we might see an early kill here on Punchinello. For every 400 HP that Punchinello loses, he's going to advance to the next phase and bring out bigger bombs. And whenever Punchinello's turn comes, if there's any bombs left, they can launch. But if all the bombs launch, Punchinello will spend his next turn spawning more instead of attacking.
And the fact that Feral Spins have been routed into the run makes this fight even more easy.
Yeah,
because what are the odds that he casts Sandstorm? I've heard like 13% every turn.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 6 or 1 in 7, but he can only cast it one time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct.
And Pidge is perfect blocking pretty well here. Which these bigger bombs can be really scary because they deal a lot of damage if you're not blocking.
Okay, can't forget, I gotta go back and get that coin chest.
Yeah.
Never had to do this before.
After the 7-hour cutscene, I hope you still remember that.
I need your help. Remind me to get the box.
I have a question, Pidge. Are you gonna go into Booster Pass secret since you didn't get the box or anything, or are you just gonna let it ride?
No, I'm not gonna do Booster Pass secret.
Okay. All right. We'll explain that as well when we get to Booster Tower.
Wait, what would be the reason for going into Booster Pass secret?
Well, in the Booster Pass secret, there is extra Caracola. Yeah, since this new route relies a lot on more freebies, since we missed out on the flower jar from Pandorite, the extra Kiro from the Booster Pass secret could make up for some of that money deficit.
Yeah, I mostly made up the coins that I missed in Roseway, and I think that going back for the chest here is faster than dipping into Booster Pass secret.
Yeah, and for newer runners that are, learning the Skip Panda route, they can usually just still go to Booster Pass secret just for the extra bomb. But if you're going for like really good times, it's almost been completely omitted.
All right. Okay, time to not forget to go back and get that chest. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Down left on my controller. All right, we're doing it.
I still think the enemies still spawn as well. Yeah, I think they do. So yeah. she has to watch out for the Sparky here that appears.
All right. We did it.
Not too bad.
Good.
Group effort. Thanks, everyone.
So in the minecart, she can also collect coins along the way, and those actually do get added to her coin count. So she'll try to get as many of those as possible.
Are we making bets on the time?
Oh, the pressure's on, huh?
You're at least getting 157. I know that.
I'm gonna go with 159.10.
Pretty good guess, I think.
A conservative guess.
I'm a little bit out of practice in the minecart, so it's not too bad an estimate.
I'll go 158 then.
A happy medium.
Yeah. Rum Scout says 157, I say 158, Justin says 159. It's gonna get 156.
Yeah, if she beats my minecart time, I'm gonna be like, okay.
I've gotten 3 156s in my life. I wouldn't worry about that.
You never know.
I don't remember if I ever got a 156. Maybe like once, but it's pretty difficult. This screen right there is one of the reasons why.
Alright, so this is a very key screen in determining how good of a time she'll get.
No! Okay, well, we are not going under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, if you make a mistake, you can lose out on a lot of mushrooms there, and mushrooms are what make you go fast during that mini game.
Yeah, this is going to be like a 205 or something like that. Despite like how heartbreaking that is, it's not really a huge time loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is solely for time. You don't get any special rewards for doing this really fast.
Unless you're playing the game casually. You know, if you like beat your own times over and over again, you get a bunch of money.
I know back when I was a kid, they had like a speedrunning leaderboard competition and Nintendo Power. The minecart times on this.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. I saw that.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick. I didn't subscribe to Nintendo Power until like 1998, so I missed that.
I will just state for the record, the individual level record for the minecart is 154.98 by Xtachar.
You got a 154?
Yes. It's on speedrun.com if you want to see it.
Speedrun.com.
Yeah.
Alright, 201. That's not actually too bad for me.
Yeah,
to
that's
sing
not
3
bad.
mushrooms.
Yeah, considering how many mushrooms you missed, that's
like actually a really good time for missing that jump at the end of the second screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like, if I had gotten it, I would have gotten like a 158 or something like that, probably.
So, a couple more cutscenes here. We're going to get introduced to Booster here pretty soon. And the Sniffets, which are going to be the main focal point for the next couple of areas. So, after she gets through all the cutscenes, she's going to go straight into Booster Pass, which is a very short area. She's going to pick up a hidden frog coin that's hidden in a bush. Which almost looks like the artichoke enemy that you could fight in that area. And then she's going to pick up a very important item that's going to be used in the clown fight called the rock candy. It's an attack item that deals damage to all enemies on screen. And it's a non-elemental bomb for 200 damage. And one of the unique properties of these attack items is that if a character that has an attack boosted uses it, it also enhances the bomb's power. So that would be important. So there's the frog coin. And there's the rock candy.
What a fast level that was.
Yeah, very, very short. So this is where we find out where Peach is. Peach actually landed in Booster Tower after the incident at Bowser's Keep at the very start of the game.
I actually love Peach in this game. She's written like hilariously. She calls Bowser an idiot repeatedly, and
So Mario has no way of getting into this door because it's locked, and Bowser will actually lend a hand, and they actually team up for, I think, the first time in Nintendo history.
Bowser's dialogue is amazing here. All this power, and looks too.
Bowser is the best character in this game. It's not even close.
Yeah. My favorite character in this game is Booster, but you know, Bowser's a... I haven't met Booster yet, but we're about to. Booster is like a gamer.
So Booster Tower introduces enemy encounters that you cannot run from. If you touch one of those blue sniffits, you cannot run from that fight. So it's very important that she does not trigger any encounters, especially from those. If she touches an enemy like a bomb or a chain chomp, she can still run from those, even if the battle itself produces a blue sniffit.
The checkerboard room also comes with a lot more high stakes because of that.
Yeah. So normally in the old route we would hit that switch to open up booster paths, but we can skip it with the new route.
You know, no, I actually forgot your point about the blue sniffets, so I'm gonna make a save file here, you know, just in case I run into any of them. I haven't done that in like years, but you never know what could happen. I find like if I mess up Turk up at the start of the run, I mess up like random things during the run that I have not messed up in years.
Or if you encounter a blue orb, it could also be annoying.
Way back in the day, we used to get the chain chomp there.
So yeah, that's what can happen.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's okay.
But luckily she saved. Otherwise, she would have been forced to defeat that encounter, and that would alter her experience route.
I'm all self-conscious about the blue sniffets, oh man.
Yeah, those guys are no joke. And people were criticizing me and my AGDQ run about all the safety saves.
No, what you were doing was smart, man. This is what happens if you don't do that.
This run is brutal. Like,
and this is why, like...
Yeah. Safety save your marathon runs.
I don't know how that happened. That was like, do y'all want to explain how the checkerboard room works while I get back there?
Okay, so in the checkerboard room, the whole room is divided into 4 square quadrants. So instead of viewing each individual tile as like 1 square, view each bundle of 4 as like 1 square.
Yep.
If you land on any square of a hot tile, I'll call it that.
Yeah, you get into an encounter.
Yeah, exactly. So
the encounter you cannot run away from. So
yeah.
Once again, if you were to defeat the encounter, it will alter your experience route. All right, there we go.
Yeah. But any spot that there was a coin is a safe square. So that's why she wanted to jump.
You can kind of route your way around that room with the coins.
Yeah.
Booster's amazing, yo.
Booster's so sad. So sad. Okay, so at the very top of the tower here, she's not going to pick up the goodie bag and a hidden frog coin, not just yet, because she has to return to that save point at the top of the tower to save for the clown manipulation, so she will pick those items up just before she does that. So we're going to go right into the curtain minigame. And it's very important that she completes the curtain minigame because she will get a good item called the amulet. This will enhance the stats of a character who's wearing it, but it will reduce their speed, so it's going to be influencing turn order here shortly. Although I don't think it matters for the clown fight at all. I think Mario still goes second. Or no, he goes last. But it will matter for a couple fights later.
Here's the funny thing you can do during this entire cutscene is just jump over and over and over again and lose all your viewers when you do that because the sound that it makes.
The sound it makes is not annoying at all.
And also, she's going to try to stick Mario on the edge of these tiles here, as you see. It looks like she would get caught, but the way that the isometric hitboxes work in this game, she can kind of get really close. But as the curtain minigame progresses, she probably won't take it that close.
Yeah, I'm like actually playing with fire here, and like don't recommend doing this during a marathon run.
Yeah, if you fail this curtain minigame 3 times, you actually get forced into a fight with Booster and the Sifits, and you actually miss the amulet. So
I did it for the entire current minigame during my RPG limit break run, just because like I do it in every single speedrun of this game that I
I'm
do.
glad people still do stupid stuff like this, because yeah, we definitely did this even back when I first ran it.
Some things never change.
Yeah. And in addition to losing out on the amulet, Booster is really strong. He brings in the pain train, literally.
Booster literally runs a train over you. Like that's just that's just a figure of speech. He brings in the pain train.
All aboard for the Loco Express.
That's like the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Choo choo.
Why is it called the pain train?
I call it like that.
It's painful.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, Pidge.
That's a lot of damage.
Well, just everyone who plays FF4 Free Enterprise knows why I'm laughing right now.
Okay, so we're gonna give Pidge some serious time to try to execute the
clown serious time. I'm busy here laughing about Pain Train.
Basically, what she's gonna do, she's gonna be timing the Terrorize within a 74 frame window, which seems like a lot, to guarantee that the Terrorize is going to hit both of the clowns. And then she's going to time these 2 rock candy throws. The first rock candy throw is going to be a 10 frame window, I believe, because she's doing the 2 rock candy manip. The second rock candy throw is going to be a 6 frame window, and then in between that, she has to clear the freebie text from the first rock candy within a 6 frame window. And it's based on audio cues, so we're going to let her do her thing here. And during the Booster Hill segment, we'll try to explain that a little bit more detail. All right.
Oh, I didn't do the menu. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
So then we save there now. Yeah, that menu used to come earlier in the run.
Mallow
I'm still
is
in Peach chart mode.
Yeah, Mallow's officially obsoleted.
Now that we have another partner to use, Mallow is Dunzo.
Actually, yeah, I got a good saying. Mallow is yeeted.
Yeeted.
Did that look like +1 RNG? I don't know if that did.
Better make sure, as Claude said.
Yeah, there we go.
You want to make sure to save boxes at the apex of the oscillation.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I discovered that when I was testing it, because I was getting the first rock candy. No, I wasn't getting the first rock candy throw, even though I was timing it perfectly.
Yeah. All right, take 2. Let's not think about Pain Train.
All right.
Think about Pain Man riding a Pain Train. This is not good, dude. Oh man, I got an Echo Finder. Does that mean it's too early or too late?
Echo Finder is too late.
Okay, that makes sense. It felt a little bit late. All right, let's try that again.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, the beauty about this RNG. Yeah, it's on the music. Yeah, we'll explain that when she.
Okay, that was... I don't understand why that was late. That felt early.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be missing exactly 1 frame late, and it's just...
I could be, yeah.
You could be like... Yeah, it's very, very, like...
This is like the trick that I was practicing all day today, so I don't know why that seems early. This is the audio cue that I always use. Worst case scenario, I'll just like
Oh, yeah.
take the one freebie and go.
Yeah, on second thought, yeah, Ron brought it up. I think it's the opposite. I think Echo Finder's early. If you get slept, if you get a sleepy bubble, it's late.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. There we go.
Okay, so if she gets this freebie, we're pretty much in the clear.
Okay,
Nice.
so yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that it was too late, but it was actually too early, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
that's pretty huge.
Yeah, okay, so this last part really doesn't matter, but it's nice if she gets it. Okay. She didn't quite get the Mario punch on the right frame to deal
Yeah,
it enough.
I think I was like a couple frames too late for
But
that.
yeah, it's no big deal. So, okay,
Alright.
here's the mechanics behind that. There's actually two different sets of RNG when you do a boss fight. There's like and it all depends on the frame that you enter the fight. So that's why the movement when she loads off of the save is important. But even more critical, like if you save, like as Void mentioned, on the wrong part of the oscillation, it throws you on one frame too early or too late, and you end up on the wrong RNG seed, and all those freebie timings that you would use don't work.
Yeah, so you could be like using the right cues, but because you have not saved on the correct oscillation of the save box, yeah, it's all gonna be off. By the way, 11 flowers.
12. So more on the Clownmanette fight on how that operates. So the attack at the very start that she could have attacked immediately, but she kind of paused. That is to ensure that she doesn't get a miss. Anytime that you get a miss or even a spell, it throws you on the opposite RNG seed, which is why when she got the spells from Great Guy, that throws the manipulation off, so she had to reset. But if you get physicals from the enemies, it doesn't put you on the opposite RNG seed. And the frame windows for the rock candies come in like increments of 2 frames. So that's why the frame windows for the rock candy freebies are like even numbers. So we base the audio cues basically on the notes and the music. So you like when you're on like a really good attempt, like you really have to listen to the music and get like a good feel for when to like advance text. There's actually a 4 rock candy manipulation, but the frame windows for those is like 4 frames each, and you have to freebie the rock candy 4 straight times.
Yeah, the
But-
time difference, I imagine, just wouldn't be worth that most of the time.
But yeah, but the beauty about the Clown Manip, most fights without RNG manipulation are really, really bad. Like, it's rare to get like a good fight. But the manipulation, it's slower than the actual God fight without RNG, but it just makes the fight much, much more consistent. In like 90% of all possible fights that you would get, the Clown Manip is just faster.
Yeah, I heard it's like about 5 or 6 seconds faster than the average fight, so it's like definitely worth it.
And it's only like 5 or 6 seconds slower than the actual perfect fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the rock candy damage actually makes up for all that time lost from saving and resetting. And that's why we can actually manipulate that fight, because we actually have an attack item that's strong enough to actually kill both clowns at once, essentially.
This boss back in the day forced like 3 route changes just to deal with it.
Yeah,
Yo, which one of you gets 12 flowers, by the way?
I did.
It was
Okay, you win.
Justin, yeah.
I'm the king of call your shot, apparently.
I always call 11. I can't help it.
Well, 11, I've been getting 10, 11, or 12 in every practice run that I did, so 11 is like dead center.
Like, you only need, like, I think 8 or 9 flowers to be good for, like, the middle game of the run.
Yeah,
But you want to
it's
get as
9.
many as you can.
Yo, Void, I gotta tell you a secret, man. I was still thinking about Pain Train when I got the manip. I'm picturing
You're-
like
you're- you're
Penguin
welcome.
Ford is like riding a train, you know?
Choo-choo.
So she saved her game in preparation for the bunt fight, because this is also a big reset point in the run, because you can get a bad pattern from the cake and there's just nothing you can do about it. But luckily we got those fearless pins, which can help us out in the second and third phase.
Thankfully, we have the fearless pins because this fight sucks. There's no other way to put it. This fight is horrible. This is the biggest instance of
Okay, you all
RNG
know how
series
my
we've
cake
run.
fights have gone lately. First of all, never freebie the red essence, because why would that ever happen in my speedruns? Second of all, recently I had Bowser die. I had Geno die twice during the candle phase. I got double Diamond Saw, and I came out of one fight with no pick-me-ups left, where Bowser and Geno had 6 and 2 HP left, respectively. So, how's your cakes been going lately, everyone?
So,
Well, the last kick I fought was 6 months ago, so
The last cake I had, I ate it, and it actually tasted pretty good. So I'll take my victory.
that's the best cake right there.
yeah, for sure.
So the very first fight, she's just going to be attacking with all the characters, but it's very important that she perfect blocks the attacks from the chefs, because, especially against Geno, because if Geno takes enough HP and damage, he'll actually die to the cake spells. With full HP that he has, he can survive 1 Diamond Saw and still live, but he can also survive a couple of, I think 3 Sandstorms and 2 Drain Beams with the Fearless Pin that he now wears.
Yeah, Bowser is a dinky boy.
Yeah, Bowser is pretty much safe unless he gets double Diamond Sawed. And Mario is going to be under the influence of the Red Essence, so he's not going to be taking any damage until that wears off. So the only really scary attack that we have to worry about is the Lullaby attack, which will put a single character to sleep. So if that shows up, our only hope is to have it hit Mario, who is invincible. Which, if y'all watched my AGDQ run from earlier this year, yeah. So
not only did you freebie the red essence, but you also got Lullaby on Mario.
yeah.
Always lucky.
So Pidge didn't quite block that attack on Mario, but that won't matter that much. That might come into play during Phase 3, if we get a good Phase 2. Right now, we're just gonna hope
The most
for-
important blocks to get during this phase are the Geno blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Geno block at least.
Yeah, even if Geno half blocks a chef attack, that can still matter. That 8 damage does factor into the math. So this is Essence is like a 12% chance. And
Let's be real here. I'm the runner here at 0%.
And
I really like
unfortunate-
that this aspect of the route has not changed in like a decade, because yeah, this boss is just so annoying if you don't use the red essence.
Yeah, Switch actually tried to come up with a manipulation for this fight too, but I think it fell through when it came around to doing the Sniffit collection game.
Yeah, I feel like the Sniffits make a manip of this fight impossible, sadly. 'Cause
Yes.
There's too much variance from the Sniffits.
Yeah.
Also, like, door transitions change our RNG phase. Randomly,
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yeah.
seems like.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that, actually.
Yeah. So, now in the second phase, it becomes a damage race. She has 3 characters. Oh, nice.
Yo, is this a good
Oh,
cake fight?
Yes, let's go.
On my
All
stream?
right.
Oh, well, I better not speak too soon. Could get Diamond Saw the next turn.
Okay, that's good. We want to see physicals, because she can block them. Okay, that's not bad. Sandstorm is actually okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is fine
This
too.
is fine. This is fine, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not Diamond Stall, it doesn't matter. Oh, and we get a double miss. That's actually great.
Yeah, the miss on Geno is pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow, I can't believe what's happening here. I actually survived phase 2 of the cake. This doesn't happen very often.
So yeah, she gets 3 attacks in on the cake, and then the cake will regenerate 1 candle every turn it takes. So it becomes a race to not die. And now that the essences wore off, Mario's gonna jump on the cake because it's weak to jump. And she also needs to. She's probably got enough jumps already done that she won't have to worry about calamari. So Mario dying is not important.
That drain beam would have been like pretty bad.
But Bowser is such a tank with the fearless pins that Sandstorm is not even a problem. Like, he can take the cake on his own as long as his HP is like up there.
Yeah, out of range of a diamond saw.
I definitely got enough jumps because I depleted my FP with jumps in the Croco 2 fight.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, she actually jumped on Croco a lot, so that actually made up for that.
Yeah, I did that like on purpose just so it wouldn't miss, and also because like I need a certain number for it to be okay during calamari.
Yeah. The reason that because you're gonna see fire bombs being thrown on the calamari, and it's gonna deal 360 damage apiece, and calamari actually has 800 health. So that with 2 fire bombs at 360 apiece, that's gonna leave 80 HP remaining. So as long as Mario's jump deals at least 80 on that, she's good. And like when you actually do the fight on a speedrun attempt, like you barely deal enough. It's like 81. But if you're like 1 jump short, it does 79.
Yeah, lately I've been rectifying that by jumping on the tentacle in that fight instead of punching it.
So since Mallow is no longer used in the speedrun, we just give him HP bonuses for all of his levels. Mario is using specials for every level up except levels 3, 6, 9, and 12. On 15, he actually chooses special, and that is to make up for the fact that he
took attack on level 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he takes attack on level 3 in this run. Normally, the older runs.
I don't remember the reason why.
Yeah.
It's to give him better defenses for some fight earlier in the game.
Actually, no, it's actually to enhance his attack.
Oh no, that's Mallow. Yeah.
Yeah, having attack at level 3 for Mario actually enhances his damage rolls for like Birdo, Valentina, because
oh, that's right.
The turn, yeah, there's a possible turn skip.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
if Sean Cass is still in chat, I promised him I wouldn't forget this during the run tonight, so yeah, I didn't forget.
Yeah. And it makes for a more consistent Birdo fight if Mario's got more attack power. Or it lessens the possibility that he has to use the bad mushroom. So, after you rescue the princess from a booster, you automatically get taken back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and you actually enter Mushroom Kingdom on the exit that you took before, so you can go right into the item shop and actually complete Mallow's little quest of getting the cricket pie for Frog Fuchsias. And you,
yeah,
I think you actually,
point.
Yeah, you actually have to do that, I think, to even access Star Hill.
Because, you do, that's right.
Yeah, the first time you talk to Frog Fuchsias after he tells you about Mallow and everything, it's to give him the cricket pie back. And then the second time is to access Star Hill.
Yeah, he's basically holding his knowledge hostage until you feed him.
Yeah. So, like, this is a big rest point if you're using Turbo. It's like 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, my hand is big chilling right now.
So, coming up here pretty soon, she's going to be selling the rest of her big items to purchase bombs for Seaside Town. She's going to be buying 6 fire bombs, 6 ice bombs, 2 fright bombs, and a bad mushroom. And the old route used to be, I think, 8 ice, 7 fire, 1 fright, and 2 bad mushrooms. But since, due to the absence of the flower jar from the Pandarite fight, we have to reroute a couple of fights and reroute our bomb usage to ensure that we still have enough coins for all the fights that we have to have. So the kind of reliance on the bomb freebies are a little bit higher since we've kind of cut out some of our money resources.
Yeah.
So the bombs are solely to have faster boss fights. Some of the fights aren't unwinnable without all the bombs that we need per se, but it's just to save time if we get some good bomb freebies. Like most of the fights that we finish without bombs is basically by means of attacking with Mario or with the super jump attack, which we'll learn here pretty shortly.
I imagine like further manipulations don't really save enough time at that point to make them worth it for the bombs, right?
There's been some work, like there's been some testing going on. Like Switch came up with a calamari manip, but the one of the reasons why I haven't really adopted it when I did attempts because saving and resetting just to try to manip RNG it's a time sink because you have to stop and reset. And everything. So unless you can get enough freebies that it'll save more time than it's worth. And I think when Switch did the testing, I think the net time saving was 10 seconds. But you have to hit all the freebies, all the freebie minutes.
Really high execution for that amount.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. So yeah, it's a time sink to go for the manip, and if you mess it up, then it's not even worth it. So we really gotta be perfect.
So yeah, but if you just ignore the saving and just get lucky, that's usually been the accepted method.
Just get lucky, forehead.
Yeah.
Forehead.
Since we're coming up on super jumps, I know it's not quite yet, but something I wanted to touch on that's really funny from back in the day. This just shows how inefficient we were at communicating knowledge about even just technologies we use in speedrunning. At home before I did the CGDQ run, I could get the super suit and I could always do close to 100 at least most runs, but when before doing the CGQ run, I was always playing on a laggy TV at home, and then at CGQ they only had CRTs, so I couldn't even get 30 super jumps during the run.
Oh no!
And I had no idea why until a year later when somebody explained to me why that would happen. It was really funny.
Yeah, this run as difficult as it's gotten execution-wise, you really want to play on a CRT just to get the timings right. Because
shouts to Millennium for playing on LCD for the longest time.
Yeah, Millennium actually played on LCD when he was at world record. When he was the world record holder, actually, he was playing with such a delay. But now I think he's swapped to CRT. I think everybody has for the most part. Shoutouts to BJW Muku as well.
Shoutouts to Millennium and his Millennium and Milni Vision sub emotes.
Millennium.
Shoutouts to the Quad for drawing that emote, and shoutouts to LackAttack24 for having a bug that has it printed on it.
Shoutouts to the Daily.
In
That's
addition,
what I should have asked for Christmas is that mug, the Millennium mug. Sorry, Justin, you were about to say something useful. Please go ahead.
So, in addition to those bombs that she's going to be purchasing, she's also going to be purchasing the experience booster from the Frog Disciple in the second floor of the Elder House. In the old runs, back when Rom Scout ran, the experience booster was obtained later, correct? After Yuridovic. But
that sounds right. Yeah, I think it very quickly, by the time Cypher ran, changed to before that. But yeah, I think we might have saved it later.
Yeah, now that we're getting it early, so we can actually take advantage of a couple of things. Number one, there's no experience grinding in the run now, and second of all, Pidge is going to be doing an ability swap glitch, where you jump to hit a star chest, and you can actually pause and enter the menu as you hit the chest, and you can swap characters where they'll learn each other's spells if they reach specific levels during the star. So we're going to be using that to teach Peach the shocker ability that Mallow learns at level 10. And Peach actually starts joining the party at level 9. So the very next level she gets, she's in a position to learn shocker move.
Saving again. Just because, like, I was like, oh, what if I buy the wrong frog coin item by accident? That would be extremely bad.
Yeah, you actually end the... Mario's at level, I think, 16 when you beat the game. So, Mario's getting the experience boosters since he is way under-leveled. So we need to get him up to speed for the super jumps. And Gino is getting the amulet solely for turn order. And it's very important when you do the seaside menu not to oversell because your coin count is capped at 999. So any coins that you receive from selling an item, if you're already at max, you lose the coins and you don't get them back. So it's very important to route the seaside menu in such a way that you don't waste any coin.
That was pretty good though.
Yeah.
Gino has amulet, right? Just double checking, because I definitely sold that one time.
Yeah, it's very important not to sell the amulet. It does sell for 100 coins, but you need that amulet until you get past Nimbus Land. So she saved again. She could have saved in the sea. There's a save point behind the shaman desk, but that's fine. So when you hit a star chest, normally you're locked out of the pause menu, but you actually enter the menu just before you hit it, and then as the screen fades to black into the menu, you actually get invincibility. So what you do, you swap Mallow and Peach in the switch menu, and what that does, that puts Peach on top of Mallow's original position. So when Mallow reaches level 10, or it should be, but it's actually swapped. So when Peach reaches level 10, she learns Mallow's level 10 skill.
Yeah, and you can tell something weird is going on there because Peach joins your party at level 9, so how is she hitting level 7 in that screen? What happened there?
Yeah. It really makes you think.
Really makes you thinking face emoji.
So yeah, in addition to learning the skills at level 10, she also gets Mallow's stat bonuses as well.
Look, I didn't grab most of the stuffed coin box that I grab every single time I practice any percent by accident.
I love this area. It's my favorite dungeon in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Was the last AGDQ run the first run that showed that off?
Which, the swap glitch?
Yeah. The ability swap? No, Lack Attack, his run had it, and I want to say that was the first run that showed it.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think anyone ran SMRPG. No, that's not true. Checkers ran it.
Yeah, I don't think that was a thing.
But Checkers, no. It wasn't a thing back when Checkers did the run.
Yeah. So here, now, in addition to Mario learning Super Jump, Gino also learned Gino Boost. So Gino, all right, we got a freebie. Nice.
That's a good sign.
Oh, great. One for one.
Yeah, on the very first freebie, that's a good sign. So, all these tentacles are weak to fire, so the fire bomb deals double damage. And in addition, Bowser actually has the fastest item throwing animation of all 5 of the characters. So that's also been considered part of the route as well. So in this final phase, we're going to see Bowser throw a firebomb, Mario's going to jump, and then Bowser's going to throw another firebomb. And I'm keeping track of the freebies for Pidge. It'll be up to her to decide where she wants to use the bombs.
It's just one freebie, but you know what? Honestly, I'll take it. One freebie is way a big improvement over none.
So we don't have enough bombs for every single fight in the run that we want to use bombs for. So what we do, any freebies that we get, we just allocate them to the next applicable fight that they're useful for. So in the firebomb case, we can use that freebie bomb for the Yared fight, or she might want to save it for Dodo, or maybe even the Axum Rangers. And that Curacola that she got, she will be actually using that one for a fight later.
I've always saved the firebomb for XM Rangers because using an ice bomb is kind of risky because you have to land 4 ultra jumps on pink XM, otherwise your run is pretty much done for. So,
okay,
ooh, the linebacker.
He got by Tom Brady. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That fish is a dangerous encounter to get into. You can pretty much like soft lock your game from that guy.
Yeah, you can actually get trapped by the fish because if your hitbox is inside the fish when you get out of the fight, you're kind of stuck, and then you're forced to kill it. But yeah, what Void was saying about the firebomb just makes the Axum Ranger fight a lot less risky because it disables Axum Pink's on the first turn before she has a chance to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a slow fight if you just have a firebomb in conjunction with the rock candy. But we're hoping for a bunch of freebies. But
slow but safe, yeah.
Yeah. But in the old route, we had more bombs. But here, where we've cut out a couple of things, we have less bombs to work with. So the reliance on freebies is a little more. So we have one more fight with some bandana reds. And then we're going to go right into the Johnny fight with 100 super jumps. Oh, that sucks. So you want to use a firebomb at least in the Yared fight, but she'll probably have to resort to using an ice bomb to save her last remaining firebomb for Axum Rangers. So the freebies, if you get some later, can actually change like your routing on the fly on some of these fights. So it's helpful to keep track of your freebies as you go on paper.
Alright, but now a pretty important boss fight. So Pidge is gonna attempt to get 100 super jumps on Johnny, it's been I think it's been the main strat for a long time since Johnny has really high physical defense.
Yeah, and we don't have an extra sleepy bomb to use here. No,
Hey,
okay,
nice.
All right.
Very
As I was saying before she started her super jumps, we don't have a sleepy bomb to put those bandana blues to sleep, so we have to actually block the attacks from those enemies before Mario has a chance to jump. And it's very important that she blocked the pierces on Mario because he could actually die if he gets enough attacks on him and we don't block them all. And in addition, Johnny has 820 HP and 100 super jumps we need for the super suit, and it just so happens that Johnny fight is the most optimal fight to do 100 jumps on.
Yeah.
Justin, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to tell you, like, I actually muted Discord on my mixer, so you guys were totally free to keep talking while I did it, but I just forgot to say anything.
Yeah, now we'll know for the rest of the run.
But, yeah, usually out of respect, we just we let the super jumpers do their thing. Because
that's cool. I mean, half the time I talk through my own super jumps, I just didn't feel like it today.
But, yeah, but sometimes it like when you're really focused on hitting a 3-frame window 80 sometimes in a row without dropping, you kind of have to zone out and just not hear anything else. But
All right, so that makes up for the entire series of resets I did at the start of the run, I think.
Yes, definitely.
And I anticipate she will save again, just so she can save the super suit onto that file.
Also, this fight is terrifying, so...
Yes.
Yeah, this fight is really hard.
Yeah, the Uridic fight is difficult because we have to stay alive with all these attacks that he does. Like, the Water Blast attack is really, really devastating. And in addition, he has a very high magic defense. But he's weak to lightning, so that's why we got the Shocker ability on Peach. Because Peach has the best magic stat of any of the characters when she joins.
Mm-hmm. She has a better magic stat than Mallow, so basically giving her Shocker is a 2-for-1, so to speak. It gives her offensive capabilities.
And for trivia out there, Yuri is Japanese for spear. That's why the boss name is Yaridovich.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Weeb.
So Peach gets Geno boosted first, so she can deal maximum damage with Shocker. And then on the very next turn, Geno is going to boost himself, and then Mario's actually going to throw the mid-mushroom that we bought from Moville on Geno to restore his HP.
And to make sure that he survives the turn afterwards.
Exactly, because the Water Blast nearly kills Geno, even at full HP.
Cool freebie game, thanks a lot.
Nice.
Even though the game said she was at level 7, she actually is like at 10 now, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, she joins at level 9.
That's what she goes spell from his level 10.
The level up screens are swapped when you do the ability swap glitch.
So, that's why you boost Peach, and that's why she's given, I think she's given HP on that level 10 level up, just so she can survive.
Level 11, I think.
Yeah, well, level 10, she gets
10
HP.
or 11, yeah.
And then 11, she gets special, because Water Blast and that Willy Wisp on Peach, she barely lives, and that's the 2 worst attacks she can take. Nice miss.
Also, Shocker is like hilariously hard to time because it's like an audio cue.
Yeah, it's a 6-frame window, but the audio cue is really weird.
Yeah, it's the second low note of the shriek.
Yeah, it's like a kind of non-distinct audio cue. It's like partway through the low note of the 2-parter thunder sound.
Yeah, it takes some practice to get.
It's like on the second note, but like towards it ends.
Yeah, you have to wait to hear the note before you press the button. If you try to anticipate it, you're gonna be early.
Yeah.
So the reason why the Mirage phase happens now is because since we don't have a bunch of fire and ice bombs to throw at Yared, we have to let him go into the Mirage phase. But in exchange, we get to throw a Fright Bomb and 1 other bomb instead of 3 expensive bombs. So that's kind of where the time kind of equalizes on that fight. And on the Mirage phase, the cursor automatically points to the real Yared, so as long as you don't move the cursor when you get to that phase and selecting your target, you'll hit the real one.
Yeah, I really wish like 10-year-old me would have known that. That would have been pretty helpful on that boss.
Yeah.
I love telling people that. It's like, what? Are you serious?
So you have to talk to the real Elder to get access to Land's End. And that flower box that we just got from the Elder, you have to give up your star immediately when you re-enter Seaside Town to Yared. Otherwise, you don't get the flower box. And we actually need that to finance purchases of a trampoline shortcut in the Land's End Underground and a second invincibility star coming up real soon.
I don't really know why I'm saving here, but I just feel like I should.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't... Yeah, the enemies are getting stronger as she comes along here, and she does not have the super suit yet, so she is not necessarily safe from a game over. And she picked up the red essence there for safety. It might come in handy later. Oh, she tried to go for the
Fast
like
stop
geckos.
geckos.
this trick.
I respect it.
All right, well, this is why I saved.
I was never good at that trick. That's why I never really attempted it.
Really?
I was really just
yeah, I
doing
love
it
that
in
strat.
case Sean
I-
was watching.
I have such a hard time with it.
Maybe
Okay,
it's because it's movement based. Oh my.
So heck with that
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah.
As I was saying, that's why, yeah, it's still risky to get encounters, just because you're still under leveled and you're still weak. And that was just,
even though you cheese the bosses, yeah, just a simple encounter can really mess you up.
Yeah,
real-
you can't really cheese nothing else.
yeah, the real final bosses in this game are the actual minor enemies.
Yeah.
All right, well, at least no one can say I didn't go for it.
Yeah, because I
So,
think
yeah.
like at this point they would expect you in the game to normally have like a lot of ways to counter these special effects that the attacks have too.
Oh, are you serious? Don't tell Albert I missed that. Don't tell him. He'll disown me. He told me he would take away my mod status in his chat if I went to the second donut lift instead of the third one. So I'm like, oh no, I'll be good.
Yeah, so none
Okay.
of these encounters you can skip.
Right, yeah, you have to beat the you have to beat 4 armored ant fights to get access to the underground. And they are weak to ice, so we throw the ice bombs here. And we would really like to see some ice bomb freebies because I believe she's down an ice bomb because she had to throw one on Yared.
Oh, I freebied it actually.
Oh, you freebied it? Oh, I didn't
Yes.
notice. Nice.
Well, the fact of the matter is, you really want some ice bombs here.
Yeah, they have much better utility than the fire bombs do.
Yeah, because starting from that point, ice bombs are gonna be pretty important for
Yeah.
the upcoming boss fights.
Yeah, they're really important for Zard Dragon, Axum Rangers if you have a fire bomb already, and for the Gun Yoke fight at the very end of the game. And the coins here are also needed because they'll get factored into some shopping at Land's End, or not Land's End, but Nimbus Land. And she's also getting some pick-me-ups, which are a little helpful because then she doesn't have to buy any when we get to Nimbus. Because we sold them all when we had to do the seaside menu. Now we need them back. Nice. There's a freebie.
Yeah, that was clutch.
So she has 2 ice bomb freebies, so she can use the 2 ice on Zard Dragon, and hopefully we can get at least one of those to freebie for Axum Rangers. So, like I was saying, the freebie counts that you get will change your boss strats as you go. She left the screen after killing 2 of those dogs, and then came back to kill the other 2. If you kill enough enemies in a row to where you get 2 level ups off of one, I think it's 2 enemies in a row, it'll cause a pause to happen, and that actually eats up your star timer, which will severely hamper your ability to kill enough enemies required, because that first Land's End star gives you 11 experience per gecko, or per enemy, and then the secondary star that she's buying here gives, I think, 5.
Yeah, like the first star gives a lot more experience than the
or
second one,
or
so
it's
yeah,
6. I can't
you really want to, like, optimal movement, which is what Pidge actually got for the star, gets 2 geckos on this screen, so that was really nice.
Yeah, she won't have to kill any extra birds to make up
Nimbus
for
Castle.
any, for any lost experience. So she's gonna purchase the shortcut here, because when she gets to Monster Town, she's actually got to come back through here to get to Bean Valley. So you have to buy a fortune for 50 coins, and luckily there's a chest there if you don't have any money.
Yeah. How many tries for fortune, Justin?
2.
2?
Second.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll go second try. It was
I'll
third
go
try
for
for
6.
me.
I'll say 3.
So yeah, there's a fortune here. So there's 1. You have to get the second try.
Yo, this guy.
Too good at calling stuff. But
So-
yeah, you need to have the scroll say something specific for you to have access to the Belom fight.
And after like 7 tries, if you don't get the right fortune, you get it automatically on the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So this strat here, it's Fright Bomb, and depending on what Geno's attack damage is here, will dictate how many super jumps. Ooh, we're getting 57.
198 is almost a max roll, so Pidge is going to be able to do the minimal amount of super jumps to kill Belom, which is 57.
Yeah, I think 198 is the max roll. I think.
No, the max roll is 200.
200. Okay.
Yep.
So another side effect, in the old route, 100 super jumps on Johnny did 866, but now you notice that it did 2 points less. The 2 points less is applicable here. So instead of like dealing, 916, it'll be like 914.
914, yeah.
It only affects like 1 damage roll if you have to do an additional jump. Okay. She's good.
I have like a weird way of counting super jumps.
The
So in my
rotator
head,
jumps.
Yeah, I was counting up to 14 in my head.
Yeah.
I've never seen a 200 actually. That's why I thought 198 was. I've gotten like a bunch
really?
of 198s. Yeah, I've never gotten a 200.
I'm pretty sure I've had 200.
I got a 200 yesterday when I was practicing.
Yeah.
It's rare, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played this game in like 7 months.
Oh, someone. Oh, why did I press that twice? Someone's like in chat.
I think the last time I played this game, I did a low level challenge, which I would not recommend to most people.
Oh, I used to be 3rd place on that leaderboard. I did it. I did 1 run of low level. I got 3rd place. I said I'm never running this category again in my life.
Well, I imagine now with the potential manipulations, you could actually route it out to like not visit Seaside Town 500 times.
Well, actually, a new discovery that I didn't even know was a discovery. It was just nobody except me knew about it, apparently. Was that you can farm red essences in Yoshi's Island as many as you want.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've definitely done that before.
Because that was not included in the speedrun. And then when I was doing it, because I thought I tossed one by accident, I think some people were like, wait, what? What's happening here? Hold on, we need to see if we can route this in.
So Pidge is going to get the super suit and the attack scarf here in Monster Town. You get the attack scarf for doing 30 super jumps in a row, but you have to get 100 to get the super suit. And the super suit is like the key equip to make the speedrun work for the rest of the game because of its stat boost and what it can provide in regards to protection. The super suit provides protection from all statuses except the instant death status, and protects you from fire, lightning, and ice elemental magic. And in addition, it gives you 30 additional speed and then 50 points of attack, defense, magic attack, and magic defense. And it's going to get swapped around with Geno, Bowser, Toadstool, and Mario throughout the rest of the run. And the attack scarf can only be worn on Mario, but it provides 30 points of every stat, and it, unlike the super suit, it does protect against instant death. So those two equips combined will kind of make Mario invincible to most stuff. Not everything, but most.
Will also make Mario hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
What are we getting on this? Like a 9-7 or something?
Oh, heck no.
Usually I get like a low 10, but we have seen like high 9s from some players.
I got a high 9 at limit break, I
Didn't
think.
Char get like an 8 something?
Yeah, he got an 8 and 9.
1051's good.
Yeah, I showed him a shell skip.
Yeah.
Or I did something. I can't. It was like a really tight. It wasn't a shell skip. It was like a really tight jump to get like maximum time saving. It's on my channel somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. If you get to the top of the cliff in under 12 seconds, you get the Trooper Pin, which you need that for the run as well. It basically grants the wearer an automatic Geno boost for attack only.
Yeah, when you're starting out as a runner, though, like you can be very conservative and still get under 12. So.
Oh yeah.
So this Mega Smilex fight is split into 4 phases. The very first phase is very simple. You just attack with Geno. He has the Trooper Pin and the Super Suit, so he's going to be dealing the most damage in regards to physical attacks. And then Mario and Bowser are going to double team one of the Smilex plants. And unless you get the worst rolls, it's almost impossible to not two-shot it. Yeah. And then Geno will finish off the last one, and then we're going to throw the Ice Bomb here on the last 2 phases.
And hopefully freebie one of them.
I want a freebie one so I can double Ice Zardragon, but if I don't, it's no big deal.
Yeah, we just need one.
Rip.
Well,
that's alright. Maybe I'll freebie one on Zardragon, who knows?
Yeah, so she has...
jumping on Zardragon is a nightmarish experience.
Yeah. So she has 2 Ice Bombs left, according to my notes. So she can either throw both and let it ride on Zardragon, or she can hope for a freebie on the first one. And if she does freebie the first Ice Bomb, she can throw it again.
Yep.
I think I only have 1 Ice Bomb left.
Oh, you only have 1?
And yeah, I freebie 2 and I toss 1 on Urinovich.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had to toss 1 in yours. So yeah, she only has 1 ice. Okay, I forgot about
the
that.
fire bomb though, right?
Yeah, I got a fire for Maxims.
Alright. I checked these vines out though. Pitch trained 10,000 years in DKC games for these vines.
Yeah.
I trained 10,000 years on the most of the stuff side of the vines, and that was awful. I never want to do that again, except when I start writing that category again.
Yeah.
Did you freebie the Fright Bomb from Balloon? I don't believe so.
I did not. I haven't gotten any Fright freebies so far.
Freebie the mid mushroom though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. Oh no, I missed the jump. Alright, I'm going for it. Really, dude? I thought he was higher up than that.
Oh, okay. That bird is really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was higher up than he is. My mistake. Alright, get down here, buddy. Thank you.
And the bad part is it doesn't disappear completely, so you have to, like, wait for it to move down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, trying to collect coins and it's not working out for me.
Yeah, she needs some more
Some
coins.
of these birds on these screens, if you encounter them, they're gonna turn into platforms after you run away from them.
Yeah. I think this bird here on the last screen turns into a platform, actually.
Yep.
There's
the
one that
randomizer
does
should
that
be
on...
giving you tons of practice for this, right?
I never come here in the randomizer, I just turn around and dip.
Well, most people I saw playing it, like at least in the early days, always went to Nimbus Land first.
Well, I usually, I run most of the stuff more often than I run any percent, and in that category you go to the left side of the vines, which has all the chests and like all the annoying platforming on that side, and that has like a lot of birds that turn into platforms. It's also a nightmare to go there at all.
So, coming up in the Nimbus Land menu, she's going to be purchasing the Mega Glove for Mario, as well as maybe getting a couple of Able Juices, and I believe she's going to... No, she's not purchasing the War Fan. I think she's just getting a Maple Syrup for a backup for Zar. Or in case she needs it for another fight, she might inadvertently get into to restore her FP reserves. But what she's going to do, she's not going to sell the amulet. She's actually going to keep that, and she's going to actually give that to Geno, and that's going to enhance Geno's attack power for the Birdo fight. And possible it'll allow Pidge to do enough damage on Valentina if we get good rolls from both of those characters to maybe beat Valentina within 3 turns instead of 4. Since the amulet gives additional attack power. And we're going to give Peach the experience booster again to set her up to get her experience just right so that she can learn Genoblast during the Volcano Star. So, since she didn't get any clones, her experience route is perfect right now. So when Peach gets into the volcano, she is exactly 1 enemy from leveling up to level 14. So Mallow finally learns that this is his real home, and the actual dodo that they're speaking of is not the real prince. And it becomes a task of liberating the kingdom of evil Valentina and her bird pet.
This is also like an area where your hand can just be big chillin' if you have turbo, because
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there are a lot of
level 5 of
cutscenes.
cutscene hell.
Yeah, this is like the last break in the run if you use turbo, because after this it's basically a sprint to the end. There's no more breaks after this. So, we can field a couple of questions from chat while these cutscenes are going on. I think it's a good time to do an AMA. Because
Ask
there's
me
nothing.
anything.
There's nothing really going on for like the next minute or so.
Yeah.
So we can field a quick question or two.
My favorite pizza topping. What's yours, Justin?
I actually like mushrooms.
I like
yeah.
I like roasted garlic on pizza.
Roasted what?
That stuff, roasted garlic. That stuff on pizza, like, okay, it sounds weird,
that's good.
but it's
Garlic's
actually
good.
like, oh my gosh, it's so.
I love garlic, but I never thought of roasted garlic on pizza.
Okay, categories for this game. There's any percent, there's the Beat Kulix RTA, there's most of the stuff that Pidge specializes in, and there's also the infamous low level.
Neon,
Do
I
straws
love
have
you.
one hole or two? Yes.
What?
Do straws have one hole or two?
They have 3. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
It's a good answer.
For the person that asked about pineapple on pizza, it depends on what toppings it's paired with, I think. I think that applies to most toppings on pizza for me.
Hey, Pidge, how are you ever going to get Paint Train out of your head?
Well, Invenerable, I have a feeling whenever I watch you play FF4 Free Enterprise, the answer is going to be never.
FF4 head.
FF4 head is like the greatest thing I've ever created.
Do you think Gino will make it into Smash? Well, he's already in Smash as a spirit, I think, but as a playable character, we hope so.
He is technically into Smash.
Yeah, I don't play competitive Smash anymore, so I'm not as invested as I used to be in Gino being added to Smash.
What kind of bird is Dodo? He's a toucan, right?
He's an emu because you play this game on emulator.
Oh my goodness, that is the worst
Should I
thing
just
I've
like
ever
cut
heard
straight
tonight.
now and just let y'all go to bed?
Okay, so Pidge has to dodge the Birdo peck because he's pretty mad that he has to polish all the statues, and he just demonstrated what he does to the statues. So if Pidge can successfully dodge all of the bird pecks, she will get a feather, which will grant the wearer an extra 20 points of speed, and it also grants. Does it grant any special? I don't believe so.
Nah,
does it?
No.
I'm pretty sure it only like boosts your speed. And
Yeah.
It's only used for the Zard Dragon fight.
Yeah, the Troopa Pen grants 20 speed, and I think that does grant a little bit of special defense.
Fun fact about that Dodo minigame, I had to rewrite how that minigame works for the randomizer, and it was awful. Rewriting that was absolutely awful, and then calibrating it to work on a Super Nintendo to match the original rhythm was probably the worst thing I've ever had to do as a programmer. But and I've been working as a programmer for a long time.
So Nimbus Land is one of the first areas where there was a lot of enemies that you got to avoid. Because if you get into an encounter, there's likely going to be a lot of enemies in the battle, and if you cannot run away, you lose a lot of time just from sitting through all the enemy actions before you can have a chance to run again.
Any room with a fan is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I'm like 50-50 on getting fan skip.
Well,
So
either you get it or you don't get it.
Well,
Yep.
friends, yeah.
And
That's
she's
about
gonna-
an accurate summation of 50-50, I suppose.
So
It's water
she went
jar.
ahead and talked to that purple cloud guy to get a free flower jar, and hopefully she can get the first trooper skip. Oh, she's going for my setup. Oh shit!
Heck
I
yeah,
thought she
I am.
was. Oh, I thought she was going for my straight deadline setup that I
I tried
did.
to, but I put in the input wrong.
That's another
Oh.
thing that's been in SMRPG runs for a very long time, because yeah, even we did that before the first GDQ run.
Yeah.
So, okay, for the first phase of the Birdo fight, Birdo can't do anything until she's freed from the egg. So all you do, you just attack, and you don't even have to time these attacks because all the damage that you do will eventually break the egg, and you actually spend one of your turns to boost Mario for the second phase. Every instance of 100 damage, you'll see the egg will crack a little further. And then after 500 damage, it breaks. And then, since Mario took attack at level 3, he's got actually 6 additional points of damage he can deal to Birdo. And with Birdo having 777 health, if we get some really high rolls, it is possible that... Ooh, that's a max roll.
272, that is
That-
a really good roll.
That's a max roll. So we get another good roll, she won't have to throw the bad mushroom. And she can actually use that... Oh,
Yep.
she got it.
Very nice.
She won't...
Beautiful.
Now that she's got the bad mushroom for Birdo, or I'm sorry, Dodo, which without a firebomb, she needs at least a fright bomb or a bad mushroom to really make the fight a little easier.
Honestly, with those extra attack points, I can like pretty much see you just
Yeah, this
always
room's
pick
awful.
that mushroom on
I was like a friend who
Birdo.
on that.
Yeah, if you didn't have enough damage, you could physical attack with Geno since he has
Physical
the
attack with
amulet.
Geno, yeah.
And then that attack should make up for any missing HP, and that will save you from
Yeah.
throwing the bad mushroom. I think only if you get the lowest rolls possible will you will have to throw the bad mushroom with Koopa.
Yeah, you'd have to get like lowest rolls, like
Yeah,
2 turns in a row or something.
yeah. The lowest roll in the old route was like 230, and now it's like 234 or something.
I thought it was 236, but
236.
yeah, like,
Yeah, it's something like that, but it's very, very low.
mm,
And Koopa is actually wearing the Troopa pin, so any bomb that he throws is going to deal 1.5 times the damage. And that's actually important for the Birdo fight since, or I'm sorry, Dodo. I always get these two birds mixed up. But anyway, the Dodo fight, the first phase is a 1v1, so Koopa has to survive that fight or it's a game over. And then the second phase of the Valentina fight is Mario and Geno by themselves until you deal enough damage to Valentina that Dodo rejoins her.
When you like take a step back and think about how completely absurd this part of the game's story is, and you kind of realize that all the characters here are really funny. Like, I really started to appreciate the dialogue in this part of the game as I got older. I was like, this doesn't actually make any sense, and I love it.
Okay,
Really
so
like right up your alley.
And a booster for you.
Yeah, it's quite fitting that Valentina marries Booster. Oh, oops, sorry, spoiler.
So Pidge didn't have to kill any extra birds since she was on experience route. So Mario reaches level 14 just in time for Valentina.
I like that Void just clowned on me, like, just discreetly in that comment he just made.
Got him.
So if we had a Fright Bomb, we could actually combine that with the Bad Mushroom for a faster strat in the absence of a Fire Bomb. But since we didn't get any freebies, Pidge has to go with the slowest fight that she can possibly have, aside from not having the Bad Mushroom at all. So she's just going to have to throw the Bad Mushroom on the first turn, and then let the poison damage slowly eat away at Dodo's health. And that will help her take out Dodo in like 3 or 4 turns.
The Fright Bomb Bad Mushroom strat that X the Char came up with is really cool, but I've only ever, like, had the correct bombs to be able to do it, like, one time. And it stinks, because I wanted to show that off, because it's just so interesting how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
those.
think it's gonna be 3 turns.
Yeah, it's 3 turns. It's 4 if you don't have the mushroom at all, and you have to just attack.
That is correct.
And it's very important to block these attacks if Dodo does the multi-strike or the regular physical. One thing that we forgot to touch on back in the Mega Smilix fight is that starting with that boss fight, you can actually get counter attacks from the bosses from now on some of these boss fights.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting thing about the Dodo strat is that he takes poison damage, and the way that poison damage works in this game is that it's a percentage. It's like 10% of your current HP. And so Dodo was taking like 90 there, but I definitely didn't do 1,000 damage to him, and that's because like his total HP as a monster is 5,000, but you only need to take out like 400 damage to him in order to advance the phase of the fight. But he still takes damage like relative to his maximum HP, which is 1,000.
Okay, so we got some good rolls from Mario right there.
Pretty interesting, actually. Yeah.
Ooh, low roll. So
that's okay.
I guess that's why
anyway.
the poison mushroom is so useful.
Yeah.
As a backup.
Yeah.
So, if Bowser can give a really good roll here, that's pretty good. If we can get high enough rolls from all of our characters, we might be able to skip Valentina's last attack. Ooh, good physicals. Yeah, Valentina has a lot of spells she can cast. But she can also physical, which is what you want to see. And she's defeated.
I've never actually gotten turn skip before, so I just opted not to try and go for it.
Yeah, the rolls were too low. You wouldn't have gotten it anyway after that.
I wasn't like counting because like I just completely forgot it was a strat.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big brain strat. I also have never gone for it.
Yeah, anything that involves like okay, I'm gonna like expose myself as a fake gamer right now, but anything that involves like adding attack damage together in a fight, I actually build calculators for that I integrate into my notes. So like Birdo fight, do you keep or toss the bad mushroom? I type my attack damage in as I'm doing it, and I figure out at the end if I'm keeping my bad mushroom or not. Super jumping on Smithy in most of the stuff, you do 2 attacks and you have to sum them up because there are times you only do like 40 super jumps on it. I'm like, no, I'm not adding that.
So basically we're watching a tool-assisted run, I think.
That's right. It's a tool-assisted run.
Tool-assisted run. You are embodying the concept of no math.
I refuse to do math in a speed run.
All right.
Claude would be so proud of you.
So now that Mallow has freed his parents, now we're focusing on Barrel Volcano, which is the next area in the game, which is where the run really heats up. Wink, wink. But jokes aside, it's a very, very critical area of the game, especially for like high-level runs, because there's so many encounters that you can get into. There's a lot of tricky platforming, and there is also a crucial the star chest. There we go. The star chest, the last one in the game, as well as a couple boss skips.
Yeah, and we are doing the ability swap one more time.
Yep, we're getting Genoblast onto Peach so that she has an attack that can attack everybody in the factory, as well as for one fight here in the volcano.
You also want to make sure to get enough enemies. So like, I think you need to get 6 or 7 enemies to ensure Genoblast on Peach, but I think like getting
that's old route. It's actually like much less than that now.
Yeah, the very first enemy she kills with the star will be the one that gives her the very first one.
I'm thinking of making Mario level 50.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you have to get enough enemies. And earlier when I said that Mario takes attack at level on levels of increments of 3, he takes special at 15 to balance out the damage from super jumps.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually just gonna go make a quick save because I once lost a run of any percent to just not opening the menu under the chest.
Yes, I have done that as well. So
This
Yeah.
is like
good
super
save.
detour, but I'm doing it because I was laughing at something that Daniel RGT said in my chat, and it's like, oh, well, I just completely neglected to press X while I was opening the chest. So moral of the story is I'm not reading chat while I do this star.
Just think of the pain train.
I'm not thinking about the pain train. I will never
Okay,
think
we'll,
about
we'll
the
make
pain
sure to
train.
read chat for you. So you can...
And another thing to note in this star is that it also gives 11 points per enemy. So if you're behind on experience route for some reason, this is a great way to make up for any lost experience if you can kill extra enemies. And she also has to do an equipment swap here. She has to give Peach the super suit and has to remove the experience booster. Oh, nice. She got an extra enemy. That might be enough.
Oh no, I beefed it.
It's alright.
That's okay.
fine. Yeah. I saw you miss the dry bones, and I was like, objection.
Yeah.
That's the second time I've done that today. I don't know why that happens.
So now she's coming up on a mandatory fight against the Corkpodite that's blocking her way to the Zard Dragon fight. She has to fight it. Since she doesn't have an extra ice bomb to use, she has to use the Genoblast she just taught Peach. Oh, nice spawns there.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
You probably won't have to reload the room.
Yeah, you want the Spinies to not block your way or hang around in the balcony above the exit. Otherwise, you would have to go back in the previous room to despawn them and then leave. But sometimes when those spikies spawn, sometimes one could land on your head and there's just nothing you can do about it. It's really hard to see the shadows because the enemies actually do have a shadow when they're spawned, but it's kind of hard to see it against the brown floor.
I can only hope in the next Smash game that they give Peach an attack with a Geno animation.
Okay, nice. She got the snippet skip.
Snippet
That's
skip,
really crucial. Only for time. It's not a big deal if she gets into an encounter.
Yeah, because you can Geno
At this
World,
point,
which
yeah,
is why
because
I always do the party swap before I do that skip, just in case I collide with it by accident. I can just use Geno World on it.
Yeah,
and plus
you
that
could
would have actually fixed Mario's EXP if I had failed it.
Yeah, that would have fixed his EXP, and plus, yeah, you can Geno Whirl stump it.
Like at this point, yeah, everything that makes the experience route tight is done. So yeah, getting into that encounter is not too big of a deal, aside from losing a bunch of time.
The exception to the rule of bosses that you want to see a physical doesn't apply here. You actually want to see Zardragon do a spell. Because if he does a physical, he actually spawns Helios right after he attacks, and then those in turn attack your party.
The Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
420.
But no freebie. But she has the firebomb, so she was free to throw it.
Yeah. It's all good.
Oh, we're not seeing 69 on Geno, sadly. Although I think if you do that star correctly, I think you do. I could be. I know it was in the old route that way, but I don't know about the new one.
So something important to mention about super jumping on Zardragon, you can see Zardragon oscillating up and down. And that makes changing. That makes the window for hitting the super jumps changing, like for each of them. So
yeah, basically the hitbox is moving up and down.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
I think the audio.
14. That's why. Duh.
That's why.
I think the audio is the same when you hear the jumps. I kind of go by that. It's kind of like a metronome. But if you just if you just stare at the boss, it can throw you off because it can fake you into thinking you need to press early or late or.
Yeah.
Actually, that is true. That's why I can super jump Cool Edge with my eyes closed.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm bad at super jumping on Zard. I'm bad on super jump on Culex.
So on the Zombone phase, she's gonna attack with Mario a couple of times, and then depending on the rolls she gets, she's gonna finish off Zombone with Ultra Jump.
I'm doing a little more because I'm underleveled.
Yeah, she is underleveled,
Nice.
so she has to do a couple extra. Something you have to take into account if you miss an enemy on a star. But now Mario's at level 15, which he should be for Axums. So now Mario is giving up the super suit and to giving it to Koopa, because Koopa's going to be throwing the rock candy at the very start of the Axum Ranger fight. And we're hoping for this to freebie, because then she can throw the freebie rock candy on with Mario after Geno boosts him with Geno Boost. And that will take out all the Axum Rangers.
To correct something in chat, I don't super jump collects with my eyes closed to flex. I do it because I was testing if the audio cue actually matters, and because he's another floating enemy. I'm actually terrible at super jumping Kulex, but if I do it like with just the audio, I can get like 7.
Just say it that you were flexing, pitch. No one will hate you.
So, in the absence of this rock candy freebieing, she has a firebomb as a backup. You want at least 2 bombs in the Axum Rangers fight. So since she got the firebomb freebie, she saved it solely for this fight, because Axum Pink is weak to fire, but she is the worst ranger of the 5 because she can cast an attack called Petal Blast, which will turn everyone into a mushroom who is not defended against that status. And only Koopa is protected via Super Suit. So that is why we keep the firebomb solely for a safe fight, even though it is an extra turn in phase 1.
Yeah.
But we want to see the rock candy freebie, and then we don't have to worry about the firebomb at all. And she can actually, that firebomb, if she freebies the rock candy, that firebomb actually gets moved to the Smithy fight.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I was saying about freebies changing the strats for your fights mid-run.
Alright. This fight is pretty straightforward as long as you don't like mistime any of your timed hits.
Rock candy freebie of the sky, please hear my cry. Transform thyself from orb of light and bring Pidge victory in this fight. Envelop the skies with your glow and cast your rage upon thy foes. Yes!
Alright, so just do that every time, and it'll work.
I was about to say, I only ever freebie that rock candy if I'm running Hundo, but not today, gamers, not today.
Well, that's because Justin was here.
Alright, so now that we got the most optimal strat, the next turn, only Axum Red is alive, and since he is by himself, he's going to automatically cast Vigor up. And then that allows Koopa and Geno to finish off Axum Red, and then that starts the final phase of the fight with Mario attacking the ship, because Breaker Beam is an attack that is coming that is super devastating. And Mario has to be boosted and have at least 61 HP to survive it.
Sorry for like popping off like that. It's just in my practice, I have had the worst freebie luck. I have not had like a single good freebie practice run in preparing for this marathon. So rock candy freebieing is just like, I feel so vindicated right now. It's like I've been freed.
Rock candy freebie here saves like actually a pretty decent.
It saves so much time.
Yeah,
it's
like
20
seconds
time.
it saves.
Yeah.
I think I had rock fire in my PB, and now my split save I've got 20 to save.
Sorry, I got like a little too excited for that rock candy freebie. I didn't think about how that would affect headphone users. Apologies, everybody. But that was like being free.
Yeah.
It's like
It was
being freed from
rock candy, for sure.
Nothing like freebing that rock candy. That's like one of the most important freebies in the speedrun if you land it.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. If only she freebied it a second time.
That would be right, but you stop saying your prayer.
Yeah.
Cause stop what?
Chants, whatever.
You stop doing the chant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop doing the freebie chant. Shoutouts to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. That's where that's from.
The Winged Dragon of Ra.
Before anyone tries to troll me, no, I am not doing English Nimbus Manip because, like, those 3 words in a sentence just don't belong together.
I wasn't even gonna ask. So you're just
Yeah.
gonna do Mario Spad?
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. So Mario Spad Manip is consistent. You're always gonna have the Bowser doors set as door 3 and 6. Nimbus Manip has a larger window for you, and basically like depending on which door you enter and which door you get from that, it's gonna determine which
It's
subsequent
basically
doors you are gonna have to enter.
It's basically a flow chart if you don't do Mario's Pad Manip. So you kind of have to have a chart at your side and look what doors you need to go to in what order. Because the order does matter now because there's been a wrong warp discovered in the factory by accident. And doing the puzzle doors first in Bowser's Keep actually is what you want to do instead of like doing them in whatever order you feel like doing. Because it actually influences a part of the game's code that influences the recovery point in a specific room in the factory with all the boos and the moving platforms and the conveyor belts.
Yeah, it's like a reused variable. That I think was just an oversight.
Yeah, the wrong warp saves 7 seconds if you get the optimal placement.
So Nimbus Manip is still possible in English, right? But it's probably just like really tight.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm just never gonna do it.
Yeah, I did it in AGDQ. Me and Switch kind of messed around with it, and I found a visual cue to do it.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I'm a big memer about English Nimbus Manip, but it was like actually sick that you did it at GDQ.
Like not as familiar with the Bowser door manipulations in general. Like what are the factors or what are the places where it determines what those are?
Oh, it's the clouds in the background. It's at what point of the screen they are at when you just miss the final text box to go to Bowser's Keep.
Yeah,
It's
when
pretty
you
much how you do Nimbus Manip.
Yeah, when you do the Nimbus Manip, you have to save and reset. It's just like the idea is the same as Clown Manip, where you're having to the RNG is incrementing on every frame, and as long as you do the exact movement the same every time, and then you have to advance the final text within a specific window, and you'll always get within the proper frame window to get the Bowser doors in the right order for Nimbus Manip. But since we're doing Mario's Pad, it's still the same thing, but you always exit on the same frame, so the doors are always the same.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So to settle a dispute that's happening in chat, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about because I've never posted memes or stated them out loud in my entire life.
No, you just post them in my chat.
Well, that doesn't really count, does it? Yeah, so that was Mario's Pad Manip. You just run outside. You walk into the wall and you run outside.
Yeah, the RNG does not increment while you're on the world map. So you can actually move all around the world as much as you want. And then as long as you enter Bowser's Keep, you will get the proper doors.
Order is set like as soon as you walk in.
Yep.
I am embarrassed to mention it, but I've lost a run once from messing up the Manip because I entered Vista Hill instead of Bowser's Keep.
Oh yeah, that's something you forget about from the very start of the run.
Yep.
All right, quiz time. Todovsky. Game Boy.
I have never studied
30
the
minutes.
English quiz in my life. I just remember all these answers from being
Raz.
a kid.
Jonathan Jones. Hates getting his picture taken.
I hate getting married.
Equip.
I definitely don't do that every Sunday.
Soil.
Too good.
That's a trick question. Soil and dirt are kind of the same thing, but
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Remember the answer.
The song specifically does mention soil, though.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, because the
14.
two first letters tell you what part you have to do at Tadpole Pond.
So yeah, the barrel counting here, it's actually within a specific range of numbers.
Yo, I got the rare 47 the other day.
46.
47 is so rare. It's like
I actually got 47.
45.
45.
45 is like super common.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really easy. Just look at the top barrels, because that one barrel on the far left, if you just imagine in your brain moving it over in that little missing spot, that's actually 40 on the bottom 3 rows, and you just count the top. A lot of people, like in their casual playthroughs, have a hard time counting the barrels within 20 seconds, and they try to guess and they end up wrong.
I count them in clusters usually.
Yeah.
With the triathlon
Because you can actually
English,
look at the color.
don't remember. That's third?
No, that's second.
Second? Okay.
That's third,
Two, three,
That's
and then
third,
that's
and
4.
that's fourth. Yeah, okay.
So Boo is first.
Mhm.
Process of elimination.
So if you didn't get any if you didn't get the Nimbus manip correctly, and you had to do the doors in a different order, and you have to do this room last, whatever place the Goomba is will determine the wrong warp possibility, because it's actually tied to Goomba's placement in the marathon or the triathlon.
Alright, so here, first to 10 basically wins. The coin box has 20 coins, and once you get to 10, there's no way for you to lose the minigame. There is a pattern that Dr. Topper can do that can potentially screw you over, but Fizz didn't get it, so got him.
I think I've seen that one time in my entire career of speedrunning.
I've gotten it once, I think.
Char got it on a run once. He was on pace and he got screwed over. I called it the Char pattern.
Yeah, I've never had this happen or heard of it happening to anyone. So
And
yeah, it
then
must be
I think the very next day
Yeah.
it happened to me. It happened to me like on a run, like the next stream I did after seeing it happen to him.
That's what you get for talking crap, Justin.
I just want to say, shoutouts to Kurt Q for determining the fastest pattern for this room. He wrote a script that ran for like 20 hours that discovered what the fastest pattern of this room was.
Ron said he never got the bad pattern. Yeah, just keep playing, buddy. You'll get it. And then you will feel our pain. And that's what you get for talking crap.
You're still a Mario kid, after all.
I've known Ryan like forever, and he actually came over to my house to learn how to speedrun this game because, like, we know each other from the Toronto Melee community.
Okay.
What is happening with my B button right now?
So, in the midst of all this puzzle solving, now we actually have to do some action rooms, and they also contain some items that we need for the end game.
I don't think your B button had anything wrong, by the way, Pidge. It's just that when you fall into the lava in those action rooms, like, it has so much like lag before you can input stuff again.
And on top of that, the game places Mario like on the very edge of a ledge. So if you're not moving in just the right way, you're gonna fall off again.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Donkey skip? Donkey skip?
No, I don't actually know how to do donkey skip.
Bodied.
Also the B button on my controller has had that problem several times. It happens to me like quite often. Barrel Volcano.
Yeah.
It's I just have to take this controller apart and fix it.
The wrong warp, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, if you do the puzzle rooms like after the action rooms, it actually resets the bit of code that determines the wrong warp. There is a way to fix it.
No, but like I think Rum Scout's question was...
I was asking if like the retries on those rooms.
Yeah, if you
no.
fail an action room, yeah.
Yeah, those don't influence the wrong warp. Only the puzzle rooms. Alan M actually did some testing on that.
Oh god. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, if you jump off the cannonball while holding down, that sets the proper bit value that influences the wrong warp to get you the final respawn recovery point. So in this big long slow room that Pidge is at right now, she's actually going to get the firebomb that's in this chest, and that's solely for the possibility of saving time on the final smithy fight. The chest head is actually weak to fire, so if she manages to do the fight well enough and get the 50-50 shot, she can actually finish the fight with super flame and fire bombs instead of super jumps. which will save, I think, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I've decided I'm always going to go for the gamble now. It's really fun.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about the Smithy 2 fight and how that works.
I don't think I need that character. No, I freebied it earlier, so I didn't really need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was like a...
I
was like,
never
look at that
had
program,
to
like,
run.
nah.
So annoying.
Yeah. I was like 99% sure that I freebied that character,
Yeah,
so I didn't care too much about getting that chest. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, there was a backup hero she can get in Land's End if she didn't have a one already.
Mm.
Yeah, if I hadn't freebied the one on Yuridovich, I would have oh crud. I screwed that attack up. That's okay. If I hadn't freebied the one on Yuridovich, I would have like gone back and gotten it. I would have like turned around on the platform and picked it.
So Magic Koopa here is actually weak to fear. So Koopa throws the Fright Bomb immediately, and then the rest of the attacks deal massive damage.
I got turbo jagated in the first turn.
Oh no!
It's alright. I can beat this guy.
Unfortunately.
I'm a randomizer player. This is nothing.
I mean,
Yeah,
this dude
if you
doesn't
don't-
throw bombs away, right? So
You know how we were talking about bombs away earlier in the run?
Karma.
Foreshadowing. Oh, Quicksilver.
Alright, well consider
So-
this a cameo.
I cannot believe you like perfect blocked Quicksilver and triple kick. By the way.
If you don't finish off Magic Koopa in 2 turns, he'll spawn either a King Bomb that you saw in Punchinello, the Jinx clone, or Bahamut. And you have to kill that before you can actually target Magic Koopa again.
Y'all have any idea how many times I've had to fight that character in speedruns? Quicksilver is whatever. Bombs Away is a scary one. I actually documented all the timed hit windows for Jinx's attacks because every single attack of his is blockable.
Yeah, but I mean, this just goes to show that the most of the stuff training is coming through.
Randomizer too. Magic Koopa, I wasn't scared at all.
Oh wait, actually, in most of the stuff, you just super jump on Jinx, right?
It depends on what route you're doing.
All right, fair.
It actually, I have 2 different Jinx strategies that I use. In PB attempts, I do like I do some weird math like with attacking him and reducing my super jump numbers. Speedrun, I will typically just super jump him, but if I drop it, then like you just fight him normally.
Okay, so Pidge is entering the item menu to auto sort her items now that she's gotten through all the doors, because now her items in the battle menu were all jumbled up. So just entering the item menu will auto sort those, and it'll make for easy bomb finding in the final area. And plus, she's also setting up her party for the Boomer fight.
Sorry, Justin. I was listening to what you were saying, and then I forgot to super jump him.
And then,
It's alright. It's alright. Keep
Boomer
going. Keep going.
Chan.
okay,
That was
Boomer.
entirely my fault. It's
Okay.
okay.
So yeah, at the very start, she's gonna jump with Mario, and then super jump 47 Y presses or rotato presses, as Pidge does, I believe.
Yeah, I can super jump him a little bit less because I attacked him by accident, so I'm gonna go for like 40, I guess, maybe a little less.
And the turn order is important for the next fight because Gina World does not work on bosses with the exception of Exor, as you'll see really soon.
I don't even remember how many jumps you have to do. 47 on Boomer?
47.
Yeah, 47.
presses.
Okay, yeah.
What
I
sauce do you
still
dip your
remember
chicken
things
fingers
from
in?
this game.
I don't. I'm like one of those people that just goes to Popeyes and
Ooh,
gets
we get
chicken
one
tendies
more
and
viewer. We'll have quad 7 viewers. One more
yo,
viewer.
let's do it. Oh, what?
Oh.
It jumped to 7779. Wrong.
Yeah.
Woodward.
Dang.
Well,
Anyway,
two people have to leave.
or we can get 2,220 more people in here for quad 9s. Make it happen, guys.
So this is like gonna make me probably a social pariah, but I actually don't like pepperoni like at all.
Hello?
I can't
Oh
stand it.
no!
What do
The
you put on
flavor,
your
the flavor
pizza,
on it is so
then?
strong that if I pick it off the pizza, it still tastes like pepperoni, and I'm just like, no, I don't want this.
What do you put on your pizza then?
Bacon and everything except pepperoni.
Any kind of peppers are nice.
Bacon's good. I like bacon.
Bacon is good.
So for the Exor fight, Mario's gonna go first again, and Mario's gonna jump on the eye on the right. That's Exor's left eye, which has 300 HP and will die in a single attack, which will remove Exor's defenses from the instant death. Or I wouldn't say it's instant death, but it's more like just the effect of the quad 9s from Gina Whirl. And that will allow her to use Gina Whirl to finish off the boss. Because this fight casually without that is very tricky.
Yeah, to say the least. Exor
So
has a lot of very strong attacks.
Somebody in chat was asking earlier what makes this like a good speedrun, and I think that my answer to that question is that this game requires you to be good at a lot of different kinds of skills, like different areas of skills. You have to know your platforming, you have to have good menuing. Like if you're watching this run right now, you're getting a crash course in backup strats.
And I think the really key part is knowing the attack timings for everything, even enemy attacks, because if you falter anywhere into an encounter, especially low level, like you got to be able to defend yourself if you can.
Another thing that kind of makes this speedrun really good is that like there's RNG in it, but there aren't that many like unwinnable situations with RNG. Like the patterns in this game are mostly deterministic. There's not like a ton of variation that you can have. And that is largely because the only RNG on your own attacks comes from your weapon damage. Your spells, no RNG. Enemy attacks, no RNG in your damage.
The music's good.
So, like, stuff is really flowcharted in this run. It's, like, super, super flowcharted.
Yeah, like, for an RPG, it really doesn't have too much luck.
Alright, now for the final area of the game, which is really the most intense platforming, because a lot of enemies here have high speed, so the only character that can go first before them is Mario, because he's got the super suit and the scarf. So if you can't run like first try, you're sitting through a lot of attacks and you're losing time, especially if you're like on a PB pace or something.
The platforming actually is another aspect of this game that I really enjoy, and the fact that you can dodge the encounters on the overworld whenever you want.
Yeah, there's no random encounters. Any encounters that you get are just from touching enemies.
So yeah, Countdown. That fight has been pretty massively rerouted recently.
Yeah. She got 4 rock candies from Bowser's Keep, but she's going to use 3 of them on this fight. Hopefully we can get some rock candy freebies. She's going to ultra jump with Mario here on each of the targets one time. She's going to boost Mario with Geno, and then Bowser's still got the Trooper Pin, so a rock candy is going to be dealing 300 damage to all the targets. But the dinglings are actually the worst parts of this fight because because like this, they can cast Dark Star, massive status magic. Ooh, that's kind of bad. But not terrible. She can make up that damage with ultra jumps, but likely she'll have to endure another turn. Koopa took HP at levels 10 and 13 earlier in the run, and that's solely to take a hit from Dark Star if it targeted Bowser. But unfortunately, it hit Geno.
It hit Geno, yeah.
And one of the massive bad parts about this clock is that it can use Time is Marching On to skip like some of the free turns that you could get. It could use Fear Roulette, which would instantly kill a character, but only Bowser is vulnerable to that. Oh, nice. It missed. The Doom Reverb, I think, doesn't matter. I think that's a mute attack, but Bowser doesn't cast any spells.
Alright, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, once the dinglings go down, Countdown itself will go down very, very quickly.
I was having like a really bad ultra jump pattern in that second turn also. That was kind of a pain for having like one of my party members incapacitated.
The maximum number of jumps you can do, whether it's super or ultra, is 100. You can't do them infinitely. The game caps you out at 100.
Oh no. I went for it.
No,
Alright, I'll play this legally.
The wrong warp that we mentioned earlier is coming up, by the way. So on the next screen, I think.
What the?
It's the screen after the machine-made Mac.
Yeah, okay, the machine-made Mac that you just encountered.
Yeah, she's gonna be holding. Yeah, she's gonna hold up, and she's gonna intentionally run off the conveyor belt, and then she's gonna end up.
Justin, what happened there?
I don't think you were holding up when you came out of the transition.
Oh, is that what causes it? You have to hold up?
I'm pretty sure, like, from the moment you get into this room, you have to be holding up.
Yeah,
and up
hold.
only, and then...
Yeah, hold up the entire time.
Yeah.
Hold up the entire time. There's actually a tile just before that first conveyor that actually resets.
Okay, cool.
That actually resets the bit value that influences the wrong warp. So if you're not holding up the entire time, you actually run over the tile that resets it, and then when you try to run off, it resets you back to the start.
I actually did not know that. That's really good info. I was like wondering why I wasn't getting the wrong warp in practice, but I used to get it like back when I ran the category.
Yeah, you need to hold up the entire time.
It's actually
because we don't
like,
do the
pretty
wrong warp
easy,
in
but
most
yeah,
of the stuff because we have to get the.
So yeah, there's a prime example of why you need to be able to first turn run away from those fights. Because if Mario didn't run away, I think all the Rangers would do like a Valor up, Vigor up, and some other move, which really is really slow.
Yeah, only Mario is faster than the machine-made Axum Rangers,
So, I think Pidge only used 2 rock candies in the countdown fight, and plus she freebied one, so that gives her...
And then I got the rock candy drop from the fight too.
No, nice.
Nice.
This is just getting ridiculous at this point.
So she was able to... Yeah, that's a big drop. I think she's got all the bombs she needs now for the rest of the game. She only has one ice bomb from the Bowser's Keep. So she's only going to be able to do, like, I think a 1-1 strat on Gunyoke, but she's got enough rock candy for the rest of the run.
Yeah.
That's
maybe
kind of ridiculous.
2-1 if, like, she freebies on Director, but...
I don't think 2 rock candy and 1 ice saves more than 2 ice, 1 rock. I don't believe. The rock candy animation is a little slower than the ice.
Right.
And plus, the ice plus the rock is non-elemental, so Gunyoke's not going to take any extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it was 2 ice, 1 rock, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's something she can explore, but I think gonna be a little slow. Alright, normally the Carney Kisses you see in the run you can't block, that one you can. Any attack that has stars popping out of a character is blockable.
That's pretty much what determines whether you can block or not. So all the physical attacks have stars popping out of them.
And 64 super jumps on Earthlink here will do the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of the bosses, if you drop super jumps, will lose you a lot of time, like on Johnny. Ooh. Fortunate. We may have distracted her, but that's not a bad drop. This is one of the few bosses where if you drop super jumps, it's not, like, a run killer.
Yeah. You're not really at risk of dying in this fight unless, like, you get a fairly bad phase 1. Yeah, poison.
Yeah, I think the other snake, like, if you buff Domino up instead, would be a lot more threatening for that.
Yeah.
Mad Hatter is no bueno.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, poison on Mario, since Mario can't block it, and plus it deals a lot of damage anyway. So yeah, that'd be pretty risky. But if you drop super jumps like there, you just add 8 to the number, or subtract 8 from the number you've got left to do, and that gives you your magic number to do.
Mm-hmm.
So Bowser is done with the run, so we're going with Mario, Geno, and Peach for the rest of the run. And Peach is getting the super suit and the trooper pin so she can make use of the Genoblast that we got from the volcano. And all of these boss fights now, even though the music is the default enemy fights, all these are considered boss fights. So she gets a HP FP restore after every fight now.
Yeah, this is kind of a mini boss rush.
Yeah.
I opted to toss a rock candy there instead of using Genoblast because I just have so many.
Yeah. If you actually have a rock candy, yeah, the Genoblast charging takes about 8 seconds. The rock candy throw is only like 3. You'd prefer to have an ice bomb to throw, but she doesn't have one. She has to save it for Gun Yolk.
Ice bomb is the fastest, but yeah, I don't have enough of those to really warrant tossing it at the mallets.
And you're gonna get a rock candy from Toad anyway here really soon. And that is for the director.
I'm having like some real bad hand pains right now, so hopefully Smithy's not too bad.
Yeah, when you have to super jump a lot, especially toward the end of the game, it can really play a big strain on your hands.
Yeah. Almost done though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we almost there. We're in the home stretch.
And we get to see the haiku.
Oh yeah, the haiku. Famous haiku.
So yeah, Mario cleared the way through the factory, but hopefully Toad brought his bazooka as a backup this time.
In the form of a rock candy, so it's pretty appreciated.
Yeah, maybe that's what he shot out of the bazooka was the rock candies.
Mm.
He had one stashed away the whole time, and we could have used it. So Peach is going to use Genoblast for the final 2 times here. And hopefully Mario will deal at least 152 damage. Otherwise, Geno is going to have to waste his turn to do a light tap with his double punch. Ooh, yep.
Yep.
And you know, like we were saying earlier, the attack weapons have a damage range. The stronger the weapon, the more range it has. So, yeah, unfortunately, not enough damage. Which is a reason why it's very important to have a bomb for the Smithy 1 fight, just so you don't have to rely on Peach's super slap. Oh, the haiku. So, yeah, you want to have a bomb at least for Smithy 1, so you don't have to rely on Peach's super slap's randomness. Because if you don't finish off the Smithy 1 fight en route, it can really mess up the start of Smithy 2. So the director here, Mario's... Oh yeah, hopefully she did the last equips and have the super suit and the attack scarf on Mario. 39 super jumps, and then Geno follows up with a rock candy trooper. And it's important to tech out all of these enemies at once, because if the director is alive and all those Poundettes are destroyed, he can spawn more.
He gets angry.
Yeah, and also, yeah, if he's below a specific HP threshold, he actually uses Valor up, and I believe Vigor up as well, so it gets pretty mean. So, depending on your bomb freebies throughout the rest of the run, it all converges on this fight. If you have up to 3 ice bombs, this fight can go really fast. there's a bunch of different strats available to you depending on your bomb count. It's just flow charted. You just have to find the strat that you're gonna use. Yeah, she has like a 1-1 strat here. So here's the sleepy bomb that we saved all the way from the beginning of the run. And as long as you're using spells or bombs, the enemies do not wake up until the 3-turn duration from the sleepy bomb is over. So yeah, Gino throws the rock candy. Peach is going to have to use Shocker on Gunyolk since it's weak to lightning. And then Mario is going to attack the Factory Chief. Yep.
And then rock candy, yep, to finish it off.
Okay.
And she gets a freebie.
Nice
which
freebie.
At this point in the game, I don't think it matters
Yeah, it
because
doesn't do
you got
much,
enough.
certainly.
It just wastes 40 frames.
It I think it lets me toss an extra rock candy during Smithy 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It makes Smithy 2 a little faster, like depending on the scenario that I get.
I've been playing around with that fight. I kind of like just doing the extra 11 super jumps than throw the rock candy. I don't know what it is. I'd just rather just look for 1 bomb instead of like trying to look for 2. But yeah, now for the final fight. So, at the very start, Mario is going to physically attack Smithy, and we're going to see, I think, a 198 or higher. And that will translate to 71 super jumps on Smithy 1. And the super jumps will not actually kill him. It's actually to set his HP up to be within kill range so that Peach can throw a boosted rock candy to finish off Smithy 1 with the 300 HP he has left. If the 198 doesn't happen and she gets a lower roll, Mario's gonna have to do an extra jump to get Smithy in kill range. If you have a weaker bomb to use, since they deal less damage when boosted, you'd have to do more super jumps just depending on the roll that you get. But in every scenario, Peach has to finish off Smithy 1 with the rock candy so that when the second phase begins, she gets an entire round of attacks off on the unformed Smithy head before Tank Head appears. So this song owns. So the first turn, he always does the sludge attack, and Peach has to defend, otherwise she would be in danger of dying.
She would get smoked. But yeah, the number of super jumps you do here, once again, depends on the roll you get earlier. I think it depends. I think it varies from 70 to 72 super jumps to do here.
71 is the least number that you have to do.
Okay.
In the old route where you had the Ultra Hammer, it used to be like 69, 70, or 71 with the rock candy.
That's probably what I'm thinking of, actually. Yeah.
But since we don't buy the we don't get the Ultra Hammer, we just keep the Mega Glove that adds a couple of jumps to the mix.
Alright, nice.
Nice. So yeah, with 198 and 1502, if you add that together, that's exactly 1700, and then the rock candy deals exactly the 300 to finish off the 2000 HP boss.
No math.
Yeah.
But so, killing Smithy at the end of your turn will give you 1 full turn of hitting him on the unformed head, and you can deal a lot of damage with that.
Yeah. It actually skips his turn since he dies when he's about to act himself.
Yeah.
The super jumps are a 3-frame window after jump 13. The ultra jumps, however, have a much larger frame window when you start, but eventually when you get down to jump 18, it becomes a 2-frame window.
2-frame window, yeah.
Kind of crazy to think that in like a game designed for kids that they actually had that high of an execution ceiling to get something in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really broken item, though, so...
Yeah, it's true.
And we want to see big rolls here. That's pretty...
Not
pretty
really
good.
good roll. Oh, is it?
Yeah, 440 is decent. The two 20s and such are good on Peach and Gino.
Yeah. Alright, that was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Alright, so 100 super jumps here will do 3,028. So that's the magic number we're looking for.
Yeah. She's gonna do super jumps the second time, but she's not gonna do 100. She's actually gonna drop them intentionally, because depending on Smithy's HP value when he decides if he wants to transform is based on his HP. Between 8,000 and 6,000, it's the tank. Between 6 and 4, it's the mage head, which we don't want to see because that's really scary. But between 4,000 and 2,000 remaining, it's chest head, and that's what we want. So we're actually going to manipulate his HP value, and then the top half of Smithy, there's a 50-50 shot that he will transform his head every 2 turns.
Yeah, and so the reason why we want chest head is because chest head is vulnerable to fire, so we can deal a lot of damage to it really quickly with super flame and fire bombs.
Yeah, that's why we got the fire bombs from Bowser's Keep.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
only
way
it
back
only
in the day, we oh sorry, I was just gonna say way back in the day we actually didn't factor in like the value of super jumps taking away from potential turns, so we actually wanted him to go into wizard head so you could just do like flat out damage with other items and stuff.
Yeah.
She got the 100 super jumps, and the Kuro that she got from, I think, the keep, or she had a freebie, I think. That's to restore her FP reserves, and to restore everyone's HP. Because Gino can die from a bullet if he's not defending, but luckily he didn't get attacked. Peach did, though, so this could be a little scary if she gets hit again. So I think, I think she's going to go ahead and do, I think, 21 supers and then throw a rock candy. Ooh, she might have underjumped. I'm not sure. Well, if he transforms, it's still chest head.
Yeah.
I believe. I think we're good.
Okay,
Alright. No transfer.
Although, okay, she's gonna go ahead. She could elect to defend with everybody and let Smithy take another turn, and he could transform again, but that's kind of risking it.
Yeah.
She's gonna go right ahead and finish him off. She might do 100 more just for swag. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It does. He'll probably die after like 80 jumps with the HP he has left.
Why stop at 100? Why not go for 200?
Yeah, there you go.
And time is coming up when I think Smithy starts shaking because I think she said timing ends on RTA.
Yeah.
So get ready for time. Just look for the orange text box at the top of the screen. Once you see that, that is time.
That's time.
Nice.
Nice run.
Beautiful.
So you did go for 200 for swag. We appreciate it.
I went for 200 because I missed Time Peach's second shocker, so I want to make up for the damage.
Yeah.
GG. And
good
with
stuff.
that, day 2 of the CGDQ redone is complete.
So yeah, that was Super Mario RPG. That was your crash course in backup strats. If you Yeah, I'm actually getting over like being violently ill for the last 3 days, so I think that went okay, all things considered. Everyone, Justin-credible and V0oid, thank you all so much for being here. I actually asked V0oid to join us like last second, so we actually got like the original player of SMRPG from ZGDQ here. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much, like, for commentating. Like, you guys did awesome, and I should have been free to focus on the game, but I didn't. I was thinking about Pain Train instead.
You're welcome.
Anyone in the chat who like wants to learn more about running this game, head on over to smrpgspeedruns.com. We have like that entire route is documented like excruciatingly there. There's so many tutorials for like every little thing in the game. If you don't know how to super jump, you'll watch our videos and you'll learn how to super jump in like a couple weeks. Yeah, also play the randomizer. Randomizer's really fun. Like I said earlier, I'm one of the developers for it, so it's really fun. Yeah, shoutouts to the SMRPG speedrunners out there, and thank you CGDQ for having us here tonight, and I hope you all look forward to the last day and all the runs tomorrow. I heard my boy ZoeVermilion's doing a run.
Your shots,
Yeah.
ZoeVermilion.
Thank you so much, Pidge, and everybody for commentating. That was really fun. And thank you, everybody, for watching, tuning into day 2 of Classic Games Done Quick. We will be back tomorrow, or today, technically, at noon Eastern Time for the final day of the marathon with DuckTales Any %. And until then, we will see you later.